Patrick, a few verses of the best friend tune. Best friend.
Alright guys, so let's take a little trip over to the beach, alright, to Goo Lagoon, because our next episode is sand castles in the sand. I'm gonna just get right into the first mistake because I know that's what you guys want, but I want you to pay attention to the fish sitting around SpongeBob in this scene, okay? That's your hint. Roll the clip.
You're hurting me!
Guess what? Oh, boss.
As you guys seen, SpongeBob and Patrick go on this bus, and they sit right here. And at first, if we look, we can see that Incidental 36, this character right here, Harold, is behind SpongeBob. He's sitting in the seat behind SpongeBob. And it should be Harold for the remainder of the bus ride. But after a few seconds, Harold randomly changes to Fred. And now Fred is sitting behind SpongeBob, and Incidental 36 has magically disappeared. Now, you could be saying maybe Harold got off the bus and Fred got on. But here's the issue. Once SpongeBob taps the driver's shoulder, look, Harold is now back sitting behind SpongeBob, and Fred is now just gone, nowhere to be found. So first it was Harold, then it turns to Fred, and then it goes back to Harold. Yeah, that's a pretty messy mistake right there. And that's not it. This next one is pretty rough from Sandcastles in the Sand. Roll the footage.
Ready?
Now, I will say, to be fair, these characters are background, like, elements, so it is understandable that they were kind of crudely drawn, but still, if you look closely when SpongeBob and Patrick play Frisbee, a lot of the fish in the background are just drawn without pupils at all. For example, this guy right here, where based on how he's standing, you should be able to see his pupils, but they're just empty. Dude looks kind of creepy. Here's another example right here, or even look at this dude. It looks like he's missing his face entirely. So yeah, some more mistakes for you right there. And I've got more coming up. So let's head over to our next episode, guys. This one's gonna be fun.
Okay, Kevin, what's step 2? Kevin?
All right, this is how you know Cartoon Corey has got you guys covered. This next episode, it's called Mooned, and it's a season 14 episode. So it's all pretty. Like, look at how good the shots look. Look at the animation. Look at the drawings. It just looks so good. Makes me feel bad for pooping on it because we gotta expose a stinky, poopy mistake. Roll the footage.
I hate jellyfishing.
All right, now I'm gonna make it quick, but at the ending of this episode, Mooned, as you guys just seen in the clips, it takes place in space, okay? So SpongeBob and the gang, they're not underwater in Bikini Bottom. They're nowhere near Bikini Atoll. They flew out of Earth and are in space. However, though, if you look at this one shot, the background is shown to be underwater sky, which is an error because, as I mentioned, the characters are in space and they've left Bikini Bottom. You can tell the animators made a mistake with the backgrounds. They were supposed to put this space background, but because the show primarily takes place in Bikini Bottom underwater, you can tell they mistakenly put this underwater sky background. All right, I'm gonna be quiet about this one. Let's head over to another episode, guys, and these mistakes are really, really, really bad.
You know I'd love to dance with you, sweetie, but we've tried this before.
Yeah? Oh, yes. Yeehaw!
I'm gonna make this one really quick. It takes place in the season 14 episode Tango Tangle. And here's some context. This character right here is Susie, okay? And when she does her little dance, I want you to pay attention to Plankton. Roll the footage.
That's because I said hips! Watch me. All you gotta do is...
Did you guys catch it? Well, before Susie does her little sussy boots hip shake thingy, Plankton's arm just completely disappears. It's just gone, dude. Yeah. You know who's also gone? The animators who animated this next episode we're gonna be talking about, because there's so many mistakes that they probably got fired. Let's keep it going. Here's a question for you guys. Who is your favorite SpongeBob villain? Put it in the comments below. Do it right now. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Mine is the Flying Dutchman, which I'm gonna get into the mistakes. But anyways, we're gonna be talking about the episode Ghost Toast, which has 3 really bad errors. Here's the first one. I'm gonna make it quick because I mentioned it during the intro. Roll the footage.
Watch now.
What in barnacles is it?
A journey into self-awareness.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make this one quick because I kind of already showed you guys it, but as you guys know, SpongeBob's tie is normally red, but when SpongeBob is going to start the journey into self-awareness video, look, his tie was colored the same as his skin. When in the world has dude ever had a yellow tie? This is 100% a mistake. And here's another one from Ghost Toast that I know you've never seen before.
Time.
Oh no! No, 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 no! Everyone, get out!
Did you guys catch it? Well, it has to do with SpongeBob's clothing, more specifically his belt. As when SpongeBob says, oh no, 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 no. Look, dude, his belt is like discolored for a frame. I'm zooming in, I don't know what's going on here, but that is not right, dude. It's only for a frame, so it goes right back to normal afterwards, but still, man, it looks very strange. You know what's also strange though? The third mistake from Ghost Toast. This one's kind of funny though, okay? Prepare to get a little bit of a laugh for this one. Roll the footage.
Ooh, scary. No! I'm stuck here while my ship is being repaired. Till then.
Yeah, okay, so when we first see the Flying Dutchman, all right, when he raids Squidward's house, we can see that he has 5 fingers in this shot, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But here's the issue. In multiple other shots from this exact same episode, like for example, when he's at SpongeBob's house, look, dude only has 4 fingers. Here's a side-by-side. I don't know if he cut one of his fingers off. What I think happened here is that the animators messed up, drew him with 5 fingers, and then also drew him with 4 fingers, making for a cheeky little continuity mistake, guys. It's a funny one.
How'd the card game go last night, Mr. Krabs?
I lost.
How much money did you lose?
I lost you.
Next up, we have a very classic episode. This episode goes way back to like the early 2000s. It's Welcome to the Chum Bucket. And in this episode, SpongeBob is forced to work at the Chum Bucket with Plankton instead of the Krusty Krab, which I'm sure for me describing that already shows you this is a really good episode. So go give the episode a watch, but after you're done watching this video. Anyways, here's the first mistake, and here's a hint, it's an audio error. I'll definitely need to explain this one, but roll the footage and let's see if you guys can catch it.
Need to make some Krabby Patties?
Well,
You ready to make some patties?
wait till I finish my ice cream.
All right, this one is very complicated, guys. So throughout SpongeBob, a very common editing thing is these bubble transitions. So when it goes from one scene to another, we'll see this bubble transition right here. It's been a thing since season 1, okay? It's a staple of the show. Now, in this episode, Welcome to the Chum Bucket, there's this scene during the bathing scene where we can hear the bubble transition, but if you look, no bubbles actually appear. You can definitely hear it though. I'm gonna play it again really quickly so you can hear it.
Need to make some Krabby Patties?
Well,
You ready to make some patties?
wait till I finish my ice cream.
Yeah, like you heard the bubble transition sound effect, but you can tell the animators or editors forgot to put the actual bubble animation effect in the video or in the episode, which is kind of hilarious. I've got lots of funny mistakes coming up though, guys. Let's head over to even another episode. I've got so many mistakes, guys. Don't click off yet. And another random mistake segment is coming soon.
She's already replaced me.
Next up, we have the episode A Tale of Two Roxys. And this is another one where Cartoon Corey's got you. I'll make it quick though too, because I know some people just really hate Camp Coral. I do not think it's that bad, honestly. Like some of you guys need to just give it a chance. Plus it's a kid show, it's not that serious. If you're a grown man complaining about Camp Coral, then you need to go outside and touch grass. Seriously, it's a kid show. Anyways though, roll the footage. Here's a hint, it has to do with Pearl. Did you guys catch it? Well, when Mr. Krabs carries Pearl away, it seems that she's missing her pupil right here. This is most likely because for a majority of this scene, she's only facing one way. But in this one shot here, we get to see the other side of her, and you can tell that they just did not render the pupil in her eye, and it looks very weird. She looks very cursed. Cursed baby Pearl over here. You know what's also cursed though, guys? These other mistakes we're gonna be covering. Let's keep it rolling, rolling, rolling.
Gently.
Next up, guys, we have Artist Unknown, and I'm stoked because you guys know I love old SpongeBob episodes like this. In this episode, we were introduced to the art collector, Squidward's like major rival. We're gonna get right into the spicy mistakes. I've got two.
How about this one? I call it bold and brash. More like belongs in the trash. Sorry.
This one is very easy to miss, but as the art collector just roasts Bold and Bash, just laughs at it in Squidward's face, like, geez, he gets a little bit of karma, because if you look closely, one of the squares on his jacket just loses color. But right here, as you can see, this square normally is filled in, as you can see from this shot. But yeah, for a few frames, it just loses color, and it looks very strange, 100% a mistake by the animators. But also totally karma for making fun of our boy Squidward's painting. Like, come on, guys. You know, if you could get your own copy of Bold and Brash, you'd put it up in your bedroom. I'm sick and tired of all the Squidward hate around here, all right? Like, put some respect on our boy Squidward's name and his art. I say that, but I'm literally about to disrespect somebody else's art because I have another mistake to expose. Roll the footage, please.
That will fit in with the other pieces in my collection. Why not? Because it's an art collection!
Okay, this one is only going to make sense if you understand animation. It's kind of a weird mistake, okay? But when Monty P. Moneybags, the art collector, says because it's an art collection, his mustache appears to be like tucked behind his lip, which literally isn't possible. I know a lot of you guys are too young to have mustaches. Ha ha ha. Like, you guys can't grow mustaches yet. Get wrecked. But if you did have a mustache, you wouldn't be able to tuck it behind your lip. So yeah, this is a mistake. It's clearly like a layering error where the mustache is supposed to be on top of his lips, but this part of it was positioned behind it. I'll forgive you, Nickelodeon, but it's a mistake.
Pearl wants the mega menagerie.
Next up, we have Krabsy the Clown, and this is another moment where Cartoon Corey is a total G. It is Camp Coral again, so I'll make it quick, guys, but the mistake is actually like really good. Here's your hint, pay close attention to the confetti and roll that footage. Let's see if you guys can spot this mistake, okay?
Oh, now to break out the old clown costume.
Did you guys catch it? All right, so this confetti right here that shoots out. If you pay close attention, right, the confetti, it's supposed to like shoot out and splash on Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob when the former opens the box. But if you look closely, the confetti kind of just like teleports onto them midway through, rather than being animated to like shoot out and land on them. Like, I'm gonna play it in slow motion and loop it here, and you can see that they kind of like lazily animated this one part. I mean, it's animation, which is really hard, especially 3D animation, so I'll give them a break, but this is a mistake, guys.
Krabs is cheap. Squidward smells.
It's true! Squidward smells great!
All right, let's head over to our next episode, Sammy Suckerfish. Don't worry, Cartoon Corey, he already has the sauce. Roll the footage.
Moppy, that landing was perfectly practical in every way.
I'm a total nerd for even noticing this, like I need to go touch grass. But when Sammy Suckerfish twirls into the Krusty Krab, and we get this kind of zoomed out shot, if we look at the handles of the door, they're like a dark green. But here's the problem, like seconds later, literally a couple seconds later, when we get a close-up shot now, look, those handles are yellow. So a major like coloring mistake here, and it all happens in a matter of seconds. Like, here's a side-by-side, and yeah. What especially makes this a mistake though, guys, is when you look in like any episode of SpongeBob, the doors, right, the handles to the Krusty Krab are always yellow. So even if it was nighttime in this shot or something, there's no reason for them to be see-through in this shot, especially when seconds later they magically transform into yellow ones. All right, let's head over to our next episode, guys, and the mistakes are going to get crazier as we go. I'm saving the worst mistake for the ending, but you don't want to miss all the ones coming up either, okay? Here's the next episode.
This is it!
Wait, boy! Make it last.
Thanks, Mr. Krabs.
We're going way back for this next one. The episode is Pressure, and this episode's like hilarious. An entire beef like comes out of Bikini Bottom because sea creatures think that they're better than land creatures like Sandy. It's really funny. I've covered this episode before, but I've got two new mistakes. Roll the first one.
Sea creatures rule!
Water! Water! Water!
All right! You
Yeah, this one's just like really, really bad. There's no excuse for it, but when SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward and Mr. Krabs are cheering for sea creatures, it only happens for about a frame, but Patrick's left arm just completely disappears. Where did it go? Like I said, really bad mistake there. Look at how awkward Patrick looks with no arm. Here's mistake number 2.
Ain't that just like a land creature to keep a sea creature waiting?
I thought you...
This is another nerdy mistake. You have to really be paying attention to catch this one. But normally, okay, Mr. Krabs' office, this door right here, the door to his office, I guess, has a red anchor on it, okay? It's always red. But in Pressure, that anchor is like randomly blue, as you can see here. Which, okay, maybe they got it mixed up. This is a mistake. But to make things worse, right, in the same episode, it's blue. And then in the very next scene, it then goes back to red. So at least they got it right afterwards. But for that moment where it was blue, yeah, that's not correct, and they probably should have just kept it as blue for the rest of the episode. Anyways, though, crazy. But guys, you know what's also crazy? Check this out.
And I've got to stop him.
You're flying.
See what I mean, Patrick?
Where's the leak, ma'am?
Okay, guys, so here's the deal. I think for this entire section, because it's on Frankendoodle and it's about Doodlebob, I should just like talk like Doodlebob for the entire section. So, no, I'm kidding. But Frankendoodle's next, so I'm gonna be quiet and get right into them. Here is the first one, and here's a hint, okay? Look at these shots right here. It's like, there's shots of like a barren landscape inside of SpongeBob's living room. Pay attention to that. That's your hint. Roll the footage.
Careful with that thing. Very funny. You've made your point. Most artistic.
All right, guys, if you were paying close attention to the hint I gave, you should have caught it. But when SpongeBob and Doodlebob are in SpongeBob's living room, in the initial shot of the TV, the images next to it, right beside it right here, are just shots of like a barren landscape. You can see them right here, and they should stay like this, right, guys? Like if in your living room you had a picture of your dog, okay? It would just stay as your dog unless you changed it, right? Well, in the very next shot, those barren landscape shots are randomly changed to images of SpongeBob and Patrick and the pineapple. But guess what, guys? It doesn't stay that way. They then change again. As in the third shot, they're just solid colors. Then in the fourth shot, they go back to images of Patrick, SpongeBob, and the pineapple. And wait, we're still not done yet, guys. This is how messy this one scene is. In the fifth shot, they then randomly change back to the solid colors. So yeah, this is just like very, very messy. These shots or portraits right here should not be changing so consistently. They should just be one thing throughout the episode. The animators were definitely slacking on this one. But anyways, here's mistake number 2 from Frankendoodle.
Huh? Be careful with that thing. Who knows what'll happen?
All right, this one's kind of funny. Definitely some cartoon logic going on here, but at the same time, kind of a silly one. So as you guys just seen, SpongeBob hides behind the door here, and then Doodlebob erases it, and SpongeBob's butt, of course. Here's the issue, though. When SpongeBob says, be careful with that thing, who knows what will happen? The door that was literally just erased by Doodlebob is magically back, which I'm like 90% sure was a continuity error here. I don't think this was done for like comedic effect. I think Doodlebob erased it, they forgot about this, and then drew the door again. It's a weird one. I personally really like this episode, Shanghaied. To be honest, I love any Flying Dutchman themed episode. The Flying Dutchman is just like a funny character. Like here's a compilation of just funny moments of the Flying Dutchman in Shanghaied, and then don't worry, we're gonna get right into the mistakes.
Remember the last time I lost me dining socks? Sometimes I wonder how I'd survive if anything should ever happen to me.
Yeah, dude, the Flying Dutchman's hilarious, but you know what's also hilarious? These mistakes. Here's the first one.
I think, SpongeBob, we're about to get eaten. What can you wish for to make it so we don't get eaten?
This is another mistake where it's just like pretty bad, dude. I don't know how this made it onto television, but in the SpongeBob ending, and just for context really quick, Shanghai, this episode, has a couple of different endings. Back in the day when like television and people watched cable still, you could vote on which ending you wanted and then you'd get the ending. But anyways, in the SpongeBob ending, when Squidward is pointing in this shot right here, his arm actually will just disappear for a few frames. Like, dude, where did your arm go? How are you gonna play clarinet with no arm, Squidward? Yeah, it's gone. Just like the animator of this episode, he's probably also gone. He probably got fired. Okay, here's mistake number 2 from Shanghai.
Fruit prevents scurvy. Hey, get back
This one's pretty straightforward, okay? So in the SpongeBob ending, when the Flying Dutchman says, fruit prevents scurvy. Scurvy's like an illness pirates can get, by the way, kids. Anyways, though, when he says this, if you look, there is a cable on the blender, right? Like a power cable, as you guys know. If you wanted to go plug in like a microwave, there would be a cable. You plug it into the output or the outlet. And this blender has a cable. However, though, in the very next shot, the cable has just disappeared and the blender just has no cable now, which is 100% a mistake. But we're back to SpongeBob and we're going to be doing Band Geeks. This episode is a banger. I don't even think I need to tell you guys. And here's the first mistake.
Do instruments of torture count? No.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
I have covered Band Geeks many times before, okay, guys? It's a very popular episode, and I've been doing SpongeBob mistakes and Easter eggs and all that for a long time. So when Plankton asks whether instruments of torture count as musical instruments, they totally do, by the way. The bottom side of the triangle that he's holding just randomly disappears for a frame. Like, it's there, but then for one frame, look, that whole bottom piece is just gone. It just ceased to exist. It just disappeared into the void. All right, here's mistake number 2 from Band Geeks. And here's a hint. This right here is a PNG of the character Evelyn, and you'll notice she's pink. All right, roll the footage.
I really had expected better of you people.
Evelyn, when your little Jimmy was trapped in a fire, who rescued him?
A fireman?
All right, so as you guys just saw right there, Evelyn in this episode in this one shot is randomly green. And this is a problem because Evelyn in every other episode is pink. And there's even some shots literally in this episode where she's pink. So what did she do? Did she go and get plastic surgery and change her skin color? No, the animators made a mistake and colored Evelyn as green when she's supposed to be pink. It wouldn't be an issue if she was green the whole episode, but I mean, she isn't. So yeah, a mistake. And here's one more from Band Geeks.
Really had expected better of you people.
Was a fireman or some guy in an ambulance, then I'm sure we could all pull together.
As most of you know, this lovely lady right here is Pearl. Well, I wouldn't say she's necessarily lovely. You guys have seen how this girl acts. Don't be like Pearl, girlies, all right? Pearl is like the most entitled daughter ever. Like, remember when she nearly flooded the Krusty Krab with her tears? Anyways, I don't know why I'm roasting Pearl so much right now. She's the focus of this mistake right here. And you'll notice on her clothing, she always has this P. Imagine walking around wearing a shirt with your initial on it. Like, I was completely right for roasting Pearl. This girl's too much. Just imagine Pearl's Starbucks order. You know Pearl would be so annoying. You know she'd be listening to Taylor Swift. Okay, never mind. I'm going way too hard. Anyways, so she normally has the P on her shirt, and there are numerous shots, and it should always be there. But there are multiple shots in this episode where the P is just gone. For example, look at this shot right here. There's no P. Or this shot right here. There's no P. And here's one more. Yeah, like it's not there. They just were too lazy to draw the P, and that is a mistake. Let's keep it going though, gang. There's lots more coming up.
An agreement, boy. You ain't supposed to spend any of me money.
But you said,
Here I come!
For you, Mrs. Pop.
You know what, guys? If I can't find love like Mr. Krabs and Pearl, I don't want it. I mean, they're very toxic, but like they're the couple, as we seen in Krusty Love, the episode where they first go on their date. We're not here to talk about their toxic relationship, though. We're here to talk about the mistakes in Krusty Love, so roll the footage, please.
Mr. Krabs, say hello. No, Mr. Krabs, just say hello.
This one's pretty straightforward and pretty simple, but as you guys may already know, SpongeBob canonically is like buck-toothed, all right? He has this like massive gap in his teeth. Like, look at that smile right there, okay? It's like this in every episode, but in Krusty Love, randomly, when SpongeBob whispers to Mr. Krabs, look, that gap in his teeth is just gone, and he has like a normal mouthful of teeth. It looks really weird, and this hasn't really happened since this episode, but it's definitely a mistake. I don't know why they gave SpongeBob an entire mouth of teeth. It looks kind of strange, to be honest.
The sash ringing, the flash singing, the bash pinging.
The hash-slinging slasher!
I love SpongeBob, and we're gonna be talking about Graveyard Shift. You guys may have noticed a lot of the nostalgic episodes in today's video were from season 2. A lot of them were from season 2. I did it on purpose. Such a good season. Anyways, though, even a season as good as this one and an episode as good as Graveyard Shift has mistakes, and here is the first one.
Night, 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 night.
A hash-slinging slasher. First, the lights will flicker.
Alright, so if we take a look in the Krusty Krab, specifically at Squidward's like boat workstation here, there's always the cash register. I mean, it's kind of important. Mr. Krabs over here, all he cares about is money, 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 money. So you know the cash register is kind of important to collect that money from paying customers. But if you pay close attention throughout the episode, pretty much in every single shot of the Krusty Krab, before Squidward tells his story, the cash register is just missing. Like, look at this shot right here, cash register is not there. Here's another shot right here, and it's missing. And here's another one, and look, it's gone. So many shots where they just forgot to draw it, and I feel like Mr. Krabs would be very upset about this one. Like, someone's getting fired.
Slime deodorant chew toy.
Your friends won't tell you this, but you can really use the slime deodorant, Smelly!
Next up, we have a very underrated episode of SpongeBob called Pineapple Invasion. Like, be real, comment if you've seen this episode before. It's pretty obscure. Of course, though, it has mistakes, 2 really bad ones, so here's the first one.
Time to trigger the stench.
Alright, so take a look at the inside of the Krusty Krab. A lot of you guys already know this, but there's always, on the inside, the galley grub menu, where it has, like, the items you can order at the Krusty Krab, and the order here sign, this green sign right here. Well, in Pineapple Invasion, when this stinky skunk right here just stinks out the place and everybody runs out of it, if we look closely in some shots, the galley grub and order here signs are completely missing. They should be right here, but the animators just didn't draw them for some reason. Kinda lazy. Plus, especially, it's really bad when in other parts of the episode we can see the galley grub menu right here and the order here sign right here. So why is it missing in this shot? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they made a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode.
Mr. Krabs, how do you know it'll be safe from plankton at my house?
He'll think it's still here.
Alright, this one is really, really easy to miss. Like, I'm a total nerd for catching it. I say it all the time, but I'm a major nerd for catching this one. But when SpongeBob, like, escapes the Krusty Krab at nighttime with the Krabby Patty secret formula, and he's just about to run off screen, if we pause at the right frame right here, yeah, look, one of SpongeBob's bottom, like, pant legs is transparent. It should be brown, like the rest of his pants, but you can see that they didn't color it in, and then you can see the wood from the Krusty Krab, like, filling it in there, so totally a mistake here. I'm circling it, you can see it right here. That's 2 right there, guys, and let's head over to another episode with even more mistakes.
We got ourselves a nematode infestation!
This next one can be found in the episode Best Day Ever, and here's a hint. This right here is the Krusty Krab sign. Remember this, roll the footage, and let's see if you guys can spot it.
Me building's been condemned, boy!
Yeah, so as you guys just seen, the Krusty Krab sign seems to disappear when SpongeBob arrives to it. It should be here, but it's missing. Like, if we go look at any shot of the Krusty Krab, there is always this iconic clam sign right here. But when SpongeBob arrives in this episode, it's missing. And how we know this is a mistake for sure is, like, when he walks to it, the sign now magically appears right here. Here's a side-by-side, it wasn't there before, and yeah, mistake. And don't click off yet, guys, because it's just gonna get crazier from here. Next up, I've got a season 11 episode for you guys. It's called The String, and this one's like pretty straightforward. It's all about SpongeBob pulling a loose string from Squidward's shirt that never seems to end. I'm gonna play some funny clips from this episode again, and then we'll get right into the mistake, so hold up.
My leg! My pants!
Yeah, who knew they could make an entire episode's plot about a string? But it's actually a pretty good episode. Of course, though, even an episode like this has mistakes. So, roll the footage, here's the mistake. This is another one that's very easy to miss if you're not paying close attention, but as you guys know, Sandy Cheeks over here has a tail. She's a squirrel and she has a big tail, this right here. Well, when SpongeBob unravels Sandy's tail, like you guys just saw in those clips, it just magically reappears again as she's swimming up for air. Like, we literally see Sandy's tail get unraveled and like disappear, but I guess the animators forgot, because then once she's swimming up for air, her tail is now just suddenly back despite it literally just being taken away. I don't know. Definitely a little bit of cartoon logic, but at the same time, this one's kind of like silly. It's a mistake.
My Krusty Krab meal was delicious. I cannot recommend it enough. Huh, well, I was just gonna loiter, but now I think I'll get a Krabby Patty.
What if I told you there's an entire episode of SpongeBob that's about a bulletin board where everybody just makes fun of each other? Yeah, well, it exists. It's the episode literally titled Bulletin Board, and a lot of drama happens in this episode, dude. But I mean, you're not really here for that. You're here for mistakes, and there's 2 spicy mistakes in this episode. Here's a hint. I'm showing a picture of the character on screen. This is Incidental 40. Remember how they look, because you want to look out for them in these clips. That way you can spot the mistake. I know you guys can do it. Roll that footage.
Board has become a bullying board.
Okay, that's it. Everybody out!
Did you guys catch it? Okay, so when Mr. Krabs says, okay, that's it, as SpongeBob is giving his little speech, we can see him walk through these incidentals right here like they're almost a door. And if you were paying attention to the hint I gave you, look, Incidental 40 is just drawn with no arms. We actually get 2 shots of this. We can see him right here with no arms before Mr. Krabs walks through them, and then even after he walks through them and they go back, look, this dude still has no arms. Where are his arms? I think arms are kind of important, guys. Like, imagine if you just didn't have arms. Yeah, Nickelodeon, you did Incidental 40 dirty in this one scene, man. Like, come on. Anyways, though, here's mistake number 2 from Bulletin Board.
This is too big.
Close your mouth when you eat.
Alright, so as you guys just seen, Bubble Bass gets absolutely roasted because he doesn't close his mouth when he eats. And when he reads this, if you look closely, the rims on his glasses, which are normally black, alright? Like, look at these random other shots. If we even go back to Pickles, his debuted episode, his glasses, right? The rims and frames of them are black. But in that one scene I was just mentioning from Bulletin Board, when he reads the note, look, it randomly turns green. I'm showing a side-by-side. And just, yeah, it makes no sense that his glasses would randomly change to green. This was 100% a mistake by the animators, and kind of a funny one. And that's not even it for funny mistakes, because just wait until you see this next one.
Cooking Krabby Patties is my job.
I am here to replace you and all of your kind.
I saw that movie last night, too.
Next up, we have the hilariously titled episode Planet of the Jellyfish, which is a play on of like Planet of the Apes. The plot of this episode is also like really cool, just saying. It's all about an evil jellyfish kidnapping Bikini Bottomites and cloning them. Like, seriously, give this episode a watch when you get a chance, but after this, of course. Don't click off the video. Because, I mean, we've got mistakes to expose, and here's the first one.
Whoa, look at all the customers.
1 Krabby Patty, hold the mayonnaise.
Alright, so really quickly, this right here is Incidental 27. I'm showing a PNG of them. Remember how they look. More specifically, this fin right here, this tail fin. As in Planet of the Jellyfish, when SpongeBob first enters the Krusty Krab, we can see Incidental 27 over here, but something is missing. Yeah, his tail fin was just not drawn. And what makes this really funny is the tail fin isn't there in this shot, but later when he's seen growling at SpongeBob, look, his tail fin is now suddenly there. Here's a side-by-side. It was not there at first, and it just makes for somewhat of a funny mistake. They just forgot to draw it. Poor fish. This next episode of SpongeBob is a good example of why you should always listen to adults and people that know what they're talking about. The episode is Face Freeze, and it's all about SpongeBob and Patrick making faces just like these. Roll the clip.
I love it. What do you think of this?
Seems fun, right? Just making a bunch of funny faces until their faces get frozen. Take a look at this.
Patrick, we have the face freeze. Patrick, Sandy was right. We need help.
Poor SpongeBob and Patrick, but to be honest, we should be saying poor SpongeBob animators because I got mistakes to expose from this episode. Take a look at this. And here's a hint. I want you to pay attention to where Squidward would normally work inside the Krusty Krab, okay? Roll that footage.
I know that sound. It's the sound of me money being flushed down the toilet.
This is another one that's very easy to miss unless you're like paying close attention. When the camera pans to Mr. Krabs' office, you'll notice that not only is the Krusty Krab cash register missing, this is normally where it is right here. Here's a shot from another episode. Yeah, the cash register is missing, as you can see, but also the order window is missing. This one's really bad. This is the window where SpongeBob always pops out and annoys Squidward. They just didn't draw it. Like, I don't know how they forgot to draw this in the Krusty Krab. It's kind of important. Mistakes happen though, and here's another one.
Come on,
SpongeBob, chop chop!
Okay, okay.
This one we're definitely gonna have to slow down a little bit so people catch it, but when Squidward ducks behind the wall in the clips you guys just seen, after he says chop chop, we can actually see that he clips through the wall, meaning that he like goes through the wall, which as you guys know, you can't just walk through walls. He doesn't have like invisible powers. If you were to go and walk into a wall, you would smack into it. Your arm wouldn't go through it. So yeah, this is totally a mistake. I'm playing it in slow motion again, and yeah, you can see he's clipping through that wall. That's not supposed to happen. I'm gonna make this one another quick one. The episode is Goo Goo Gas, and this one's all about one of Plankton's nastiest schemes yet, where he finds a way to turn everybody in Bikini Bottom into babies. Like, look at baby SpongeBob, dude. He's so cute. As a matter of fact, here's a quick highlight of all the different baby characters in this episode, or all the baby versions of characters, and then we'll get into the mistake. Nah, they're so cute, but what's not cute are the mistakes in this episode, guys. I hate to switch it up, but let's get to the mistakes. Here's the first one. Try and catch it and comment it before I come back in and reveal it, guys. I know you can do it.
Victory is mine!
You kids get off my lawn!
It was almost too easy.
Alright, so as you guys just seen in those clips, Plankton is seen running out of the Krusty Krab with a Krabby Patty. And if we look at this Krabby Patty, it's just a regular Krabby Patty. It isn't a cheeseburger, it's a regular burger. No cheese is on that burger. Getting kind of hungry now. Now I kind of want a burger. Actually, really quickly, guys, I'm gonna order a burger on Uber Eats real quick. 1 second. Let me get this one and let's order. Okay, perfect. My food's on the way, guys. But as you've seen, the Krabby Patty has no cheese on it when he's running out of the Krusty Krab. But here's the problem, dude. When we see him actually leave the Krusty Krab, there is cheese on the patty. So we can see there's cheese on it, but then there's no cheese on it. Here's a side-by-side, and you can tell at first the animators drew it with cheese, but then in this shot, they were too lazy to put the cheese slice on the burger. Poor Plankton, he got gypped. All right, here's mistake number 2 from Goo Goo Gas.
Release me!
Right after the party, the pinata party!
What?
This one's pretty straightforward and kind of funny. So as you guys know, Bikini Bottom is in the ocean. All right, so there isn't like a ceiling. They're not in a building. The sky just keeps on going up. If they keep on going up, they go out of water and then they're at Bikini Atoll, as you can see here. And then they could just keep on going in the sky to space, as you can see in this shot from Goons on the Moon. Well, in Goo Goo Gas, there's a moment where Plankton gets caught, all right, and he's put in a net. And as we can see, he's hanging in this net right here. But here's the problem, guys. They're underwater and they're not in a building. So what is this hanging from? Is it just floating in the air? Like, think about it. This thing right here would need to be tied to something. And based on what we've seen in this episode, it looks like it's literally just floating in the ocean from like hanging from the top of the ocean. I don't know, but this was a mistake. The animators definitely didn't think about this part very clearly. So yeah. Next up, the episode is Sing a Song of Patrick. This is another very obscure episode where Patrick writes a song and submits it to a record label. It's actually like an interesting plot. Here are some funny clips of what happens in the episode, and then we'll get into the mistake.
This hard, so I use some pointy and some
Lucky.
pointy point of
All right, it's mistake time, and here's a hint. All the mistakes in this episode focus around our boy Fred, the dude who's always like, my leg, that guy right there. Dude needs to be careful with his leg. Like, there's just always something happening. But yeah, 2 mistakes revolving around him. Pay close attention and roll that footage, baby.
Let's get him, boys! Oh. You know, it's not that bad.
Okay, so this one's a weird continuity error. So we get 2 shots of Fred in the clips you guys just seen. And at first, he's wearing brown pants, as you can see right here, all right? Our boy's just shirtless with these brown pants with his belt, okay? However, though, if we take a look at this other shot of him from the same scene, the animators forgot about the brown pants and just randomly give him blue pants. They even change his belt a little bit. Like, what? Here's a side-by-side? And I highly doubt while the dude was in the middle of being in a mob while holding a torch, decided to randomly change his pants. And look, I'm just saying, guys, I know incidental characters get duplicated all the time, but Fred is like a full-on character now. He had an entire episode about him called My Leg. So there only is one Fred, and I doubt he changed his pants, so this is a mistake. And here's one more. This is an audio error though, okay? Here's a hint. This is incidental 27 right here, and I want you to pay attention to them. They shouldn't be speaking, but you guys pay attention to them and you'll see the mistake. Roll the footage.
The song! Who's responsible for that song on the radio?
Why, he's right here. Patrick Star, musical genius.
Alrighty, like I said, this is an audio error. So when Fred says, who's responsible for that song on the radio, just as he begins to say it and says, who's Reed, if we look over to incidental 27 over here, his lips sync to what Fred is saying, despite the fact that incidental 27 isn't saying anything here. They're not speaking at all. So you can see that they were supposed to animate Fred to say this line, but the animators messed up and also animated incidental 27 to say this line as well when they don't actually say the line. Hopefully you guys get it, but it's a pretty bad mistake. I mean, come on.
Time to get back to cooking.
Where's the grill?
Oh, I took it outside to air dry.
Next up, we have the episode The Grill is Gone, and this is a very obscure episode. I don't see people talking about it all that much, but I will say it is a fairly underrated episode in my opinion. It's actually pretty good. Anyways though, here's the mistake.
Zip it, boyo.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Krabs. Not everybody will tell you.
Alright, so at the ending of this episode, alright, we get this scene where all of these characters take the Krusty Krab and they slide down with the Krusty Krab. Also in this episode, we're introduced to these two twins, this boy and girl twin, brother and sister duo. Now, before they roll down the hill on the Krusty Krab, we can see that the boy twin is sitting here and that the girl twin is sitting here. But here's the problem. Once the Krusty Krab actually starts sliding down, they have completely switched places and now the girl is here and the boys here. Like, here's a side-by-side showing you. And I mean, they're literally on a moving restaurant. They wouldn't be able to switch spots randomly, so this was definitely a mistake. They drew it like this, and then when the sliding was happening, they drew it like this. And guys, that's nothing compared to some of these other mistakes coming up. Let's head over to another episode.
What else did you buy at this convention? Your very own locomotive?
Yes.
All right, this is definitely a really, really bad one, which is why we're talking about it now. It's in the episode Professor Squidward, okay? And here's a hint, it has to do with this character, Incidental F9. Pay attention to both these clips I'm gonna play, and yeah, let's see if you guys can spot it. Try to comment the mistake before I come back in and like spoil it.
Isn't it grand?
What is?
He's such a great musician. He doesn't even have to touch an instrument.
All right, I've had enough.
Did you guys catch it? Like I said, it has to do with Incidental F9 here, as throughout a majority of the scenes you guys just seen, Incidental F9 is wearing a dress. It's hard to see in some angles, but as you can see, they are wearing a dress. Here's the issue though, once Fred says, isn't it grand? We actually get a shot of Incidental F9 not wearing the dress, like the dress is just missing. If you look closely, you can see that she's low-key just not wearing anything. You can't see anything inappropriate. Don't worry, parents, but she has nothing on, which just, yeah, is totally a mistake. I don't think that was intentional, guys. I highly doubt they just didn't draw her dress in this one shot on purpose.
Action figures!
Ugh. Can a person be any nerdier?
I can.
Next up, we have the episode Goons on the Moon, which is a banger, but you guys know what's coming. I gotta expose this mistake. Here's a hint. You wanna pay attention to the doors of Sandy's tree dome, okay? Let's take a look at this. All right, hopefully you guys spotted the mistake, but this one is kind of a tricky one, so don't worry, Cartoon Corey's got you. After all, I have no life and spend every day looking for SpongeBob mistakes, so I mean, I definitely got you. But anyways, at the beginning of this episode, we can see that there is an airlock on Sandy's tree dome, and this is to make sure that air is locked in her tree dome, because as you guys know, Sandy's a squirrel, so she can't just breathe water like fish. She needs her tree dome, which has air in it. Yada, 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 da-da-da-da-da, you guys know. But yeah, we see this airlock right here. But here's the thing, we get a similar shot during the liftoff scene, where we can see the same spot, which should have the airlock, but look, the airlock is missing. So here's a side-by-side, the airlock was there, but then in this one shot, the airlock is just gone. Poof, it magically disappeared, and this is a mistake. And a bad one too, because without that airlock, guys, Sandy, rip, R.I.P. Next up, we have a good old classic. We have Sailor Mouth. This episode is literally all about swearing, where SpongeBob and Patrick use words like these.
Hello, customers. Nice day we're having, huh? Today's special is a crab Krabby Patty.
These are swears in Bikini Bottom, and you guys should never repeat them. This episode is iconic, and I'm sure if you ask any SpongeBob fan, they'll tell you this is one of their like top 20, top 10 episodes. It's definitely one of mine, even though it has mistakes. Let's dive into one right now, guys. And here's a hint, pay close attention to Mama Krabs. I'm showing a PNG of her on screen. This is Mama Krabs. Pay attention to her.
I guess you scallywags have earned a glass of lemonade. My foot!
Alrighty, so as you guys just seen, at the ending of the episode, we see Grandma Krabs making SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs paint her home. And eventually, she ends up stubbing her foot. Now, here's the mistake, guys. So we see that Betsy Krabs over here stubs this foot right here. I believe it's her right foot that she stubs, as you can see here, but remember, it's this foot. This is the foot that she hits, and it hurts. But the problem is, like, when she goes to lift up her foot and hold the foot that was hurt, she grabs her other leg. So this is the leg that she hits, but then when she like grabs her hurt leg to like kiss it better and like soothe it, she grabs the wrong leg. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? This is the leg you hurt. Why are you lifting up this leg? Like, what? This same thing also happens with Mr. Krabs. Take a look at this real quick.
We're gonna give the Krusty Krab a fresh coat of paint from top to bottom. Wow! Oh, my foot!
Yeah, as you can see, when Mr. Krabs is coming out with the paint, he stubs his right foot, but for some reason, this dude holds his left foot, the one that is not injured. Very, very funny, guys.
We have showers, a courtyard, and 3 square meals a day. All chum.
This next episode is another obscure one. I'm like 90% sure a lot of you lovely people have never watched this episode, and you're not missing much. It's not the best episode. Honestly, it's called Call the Cops. And we got 2 mistakes. Try to comment the mistake before I come back in and explain it. I know you guys can do it. You guys don't even need me to find mistakes. You guys can do it on your own. Roll that footage.
He's over there! Stop him! That's me!
Alright, hopefully you guys caught it, but if not, Cartoon Corey's got you. So at the beginning of the episode, when Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob are chasing Plankton, we can see that these customers, all of these customers are eating their Krabby Patties. Look at this dude. We can literally see him eating the patty, but the problem is despite how long this scene is, none of the patties end up having bites out of them. So the customers are just eating the Krabby Patties infinitely. They're just eating them constantly, and they're not getting any bites out of them. A very, very strange mistake. And here's mistake number 2 from Call the Cops.
Have you got a license to sell these?
I don't have a license.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's classified.
This one is much worse. So throughout SpongeBob, a very common thing are bubble animations. And don't worry guys, this isn't a rough draft Korea bubble transition error. I know you guys probably know what I mean when I say that. This is a completely different type of error, but here are some examples of bubble transitions in SpongeBob, all right? You can see one here. Here's another one. They're a staple of the show. Well, in Call the Cops, when SpongeBob takes Helen the felon to jail, as this bubble transition starts, we can actually see that they both just suddenly disappear out of frame as the bubble transition is happening. We kind of have to slow things down, but yeah, they just disappear, guys. You know what's also gonna disappear though? Some of these Nickelodeon animators when I expose this next episode's mistakes.
Would you be our coach for the finals?
What? I got better things to do than help you 2 dopes.
Like polishing your empty trophy case?
We're gonna be dancing in this next episode, guys, because we're talking about slimy dancing. And I've covered this episode many times before, but I actually found a new mistake that is like hilarious, okay? This mistake is really funny. You need to hear this clip though for it to make sense. Roll the footage.
The rulebook clearly states a single dancer must perform without any further assistance from a partner.
All right, so let me explain, guys. So in this episode, there's a big dance competition that Squidward wants to enter in and win. SpongeBob and Patrick also enter the competition. Now here's the thing. The rules of this competition state that a single dancer cannot be assisted by a partner. So this means that if you're going to enter the contest, you can only dance by yourself. You can't get help from anybody else, and you can't dance with another person. It's a solo act. But here's the problem, right? In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick both audition together as a team, despite the rules, and they even make it to the finals of the competition, when again, the rules state that you cannot do it as a team or a pair, you must do it by yourself. So that right there is a mistake. And also, this seahorse character right here should have also been kicked out of the competition because it's a 2-person costume. As you can see, there's 2 people in the costume, which again, you cannot be assisted by a partner. As you guys literally heard in those those clips, so I'm rambling a bit, but this is a really funny mistake if you think about it. Here's one more from Slimy Dancing, though.
By unanimous decision, we have a winner.
Mine! I won! I won!
I'll make this one quick because it's very, very straightforward. But when Squidward uses his arms to collect the trophy, look, SpongeBob's teeth turn yellow, which I don't even need to tell you guys is a mistake. As you can see here, his teeth are normally white. So yeah, still lots of mistakes to come though, guys. Do not click off yet. Things are going to get spicy.
That is the stupidest dance move I've ever seen.
Who put you on the planet?
Up next, we have I Heart Dancing, another dancing-themed SpongeBob episode. How fitting. This time, though, instead of SpongeBob potentially sabotaging Squidward's edition at the dance competition, this one's all about Squidward trying to sabotage SpongeBob. It's actually pretty funny. Here are some funny clips, and then we're gonna get right into the mistakes. They're really bad. Okay, it's mistake time. Here's the first mistake.
I'm gonna keep working on your routine until you get it right. And I don't care how long it takes. Now watch closely.
All right, so soon after SpongeBob's cane dance here, if we watch very closely and we pause at the right frame, wait for it, boom, the animators just completely forgot to color in Squidward's nose, leaving it just transparent. It's only for a frame, but his nose just has no color. Look at how weird that looks, dude. Squidward, go get a nose, man. All right, this episode's about dancing, guys, so let's dance on to mistake number 2 from I Heart Dancing. Roll the footage, please.
I got music, friend. In my mind. Oh, I love this song.
This one is admittedly potentially some cartoon logic, but it's still kind of weird, and the way it's kind of presented is kind of lazy. Now, in the clips you guys just saw, SpongeBob is seen wearing his Krusty Krab employee hat. But then we get this gag where he pulls his brain literally out of his head. And when he does this, we don't see the hat fly off or anything, but he's just not wearing the hat anymore. All right, the hat is off of his head. The issue though is literally a second later when SpongeBob begins dancing, despite the hat missing in the last shot, it now reappears as he's dancing, making for just a messy scene. It's there, then it's not there, and then it's back again. Talk about a continuity error.
Mr. Krabs, I have an idea.
What in the name of money are you waiting for, boy?
Next up, we have a banger of an episode, Patty Hype. This episode is all about SpongeBob making these new things called pretty patties. I want one. Comment if you'd eat one of these. Well, actually, if you know what happens at the end of the episode, you might not want to eat one. But anyways, what we want to do is dive into this episode's 3 mistakes. That's right, 3 mistakes in one episode. Here's the first one. Roll the footage.
Buddy, I don't care how much you want your pretty patty. You're gonna have to wait in line like the rest of us.
I never had a line?
Yeah, this one's hilarious, okay? So in the long line here of people waiting to get a pretty patty, pretty patties become very popular in this episode, we can see all of these incidentals, and all of them are very poorly drawn, but that's not the mistake here. If we look at this incidental in particular, incidental 63, his shirt is just entirely transparent and uncolored. If you look through his shirt, you can see the sand. Look at the sand they're standing on. You can see through his shirt and see the background. So they were too lazy to even color in his shirt, and they just left it transparent. Look at all the other incidentals too. They're so poorly and crudely drawn, but whatever. 2D animation's hard. This dude not having a shirt though is rough, and here's another mistake from this episode.
I don't believe it! I gotta see this for myself! Oh.
Hey, watch it, buddy.
Now this one's a weird one. It's very easy to miss, but a part of Mr. Krabs' claw seems to overlap with the enter sign when we see him fall after hitting the back of the line. I'm gonna play it in slow motion, and yeah, that shouldn't happen. Weird mistake here, and here's another one from Patty Hype. Like I said, 3 mistakes in one episode, damn.
Pretty patties turn my face purple!
Look what I got under me, kill!
And look at our tongues!
This one takes place at the ending of the episode, and like I said in the intro, you might not want to eat a pretty patty as it has some bad side effects. For example, this guy right here, this Scotsman version of Fred, because he ate a plaid pretty patty, it resulted in his legs turning plaid. But there's actually a major mistake in this scene. When we first see the Scotsman version of Fred before he pulls up his kilt, we can literally see his legs, and they're the normal color. You can see them right here, and his legs are not plaid. But then once he he pulls up his kilt, they just change to being plaid, which is a major mistake here. His legs should have been plaid the entire time, not only when he pulls up the kilt. Like, what? Crazy mistake. Let's keep it moving though, guys. The mistakes coming up are going to blow your mind, so stay tuned. Let's head over to another episode. Next up, we have a pretty overrated episode in my opinion. The episode is A Life in a Day, and this episode is all about Patrick becoming like infatuated with how much of a daredevil Larry is. Larry's always doing stuff like this. And yeah, Patrick wants to do crazy stuff like that as well. He wants to be a daredevil. Anyways, though, we're here for mistakes. Let's dive right into them, roll that footage, and try to point out this mistake in the comments before I come back in and break it down. All right, roll that footage.
3, 2, 1, lift up!
Did you guys catch it? This one's very, very interesting. It happens at the ending of the episode. So what happens is SpongeBob and Patrick go to do this stunt where they're gonna get launched off of this huge arrow. And when we see them on the arrow, at first, SpongeBob is wearing his iconic beach suit. He's not wearing his square pants. Remember this, he's wearing his beach suit. However, later when an upper view close-up is shown of Patrick scared and SpongeBob screaming woo, SpongeBob was having a blast. SpongeBob's regular clothes, like his square pants, are briefly seen on him instead. But then in the next shot, when the arrow is fully shown again, SpongeBob is back to wearing his beach suit. So some major continuity errors here. First he's in his beach suit, then for a couple of seconds he's in his regular outfit, and then he goes right back to his beach suit, and I highly doubt our square boy over here changed his outfit in the middle of a scene. This was a mistake, and guys, we've got more mistakes like this. Let's head over to another episode. Real quick though, just saying, make sure to subscribe as I respond to the comments of all subscribers. So if you click subscribe right now and leave a comment, I'll respond for sure within the next like 2 days, so do it. Let's talk. For now though, let's get back to mistakes, baby. Let's keep it going.
You're right, Patrick.
Have I ever not been right? You're a man now.
Next up, we have one of my favorite episodes. This episode really brings me back in time to when I was little Corey. The episode is Grandma's Kisses. And I mean, come on, you guys know this episode. For those who don't, it's all about SpongeBob being embarrassed because he loves his grandma. You can blame Squidward though, like this dude was roasting him in the beginning of the episode. But anyways, we're here for mistakes. There's 3 in this episode. Here's the first one.
Hold still.
So this one's subtle, but it's still a pretty bad mistake. But when the scene zooms out after Patrick bites his finger in the clips you guys just saw, if we look at the very bottom of the screen or the bottom of the frame, Patrick's body cuts off. And boy oh boy does it look really awkward. You can see his body's supposed to go all the way down and cover the entire frame, but there was a little mistake here. Not that big of a deal, but at the same time, like, Patrick, you're missing your whole bottom half, buddy. I hope you're okay. Here's a much worse mistake though, guys. And here's a hint. I'm showing a PNG of him. Pay attention to this character right here, Incidental 31.
Brother.
No! Especially if you're a big baby!
Did you guys catch it? So, in the first shot, Incidental 31 is this color right here, all right? Remember this? He looks like this. But then when we see him again in the second shot, he's now randomly violet. But then in the following shot, they go back to the original color and they're like this bluish color again. So first, they're the bluish color, then they turned violet, and then they turned back to the bluish color. Massive mistake here. And it all happens in a matter of seconds, dude. Like, what? Here's another one, though.
Fresh baked cookies. Story time. A sweater with love in every stitch. Oh, what am I waiting for? Grandma!
Okay, so I might have covered this one before, so to any longtime viewers, I apologize. But after SpongeBob says, "What am I waiting for?" at the very beginning of the episode, before he runs to his grandmother's house, both his tie and collar fold are missing from his shirt. I don't think I need to explain this, but here's a PNG of SpongeBob, and as you guys know, he always has this collar fold in his tie, but in this one shot, it's just missing, and it looks really, really weird. Not as weird as the mistakes in this next episode, though. Let's keep it rolling. The Season 6 episode, Krabby Road, is one of the best episodes from Season 6. That season is rough, dude. It has some really bad moments, but Krabby Road is pretty good. Here are some really funny moments from the episode. We'll get into the mistakes right after.
You didn't notice my new hairdo.
1, 2, 3.
Dude, the idea of SpongeBob, Plankton, and just everybody starting a band is hilarious, and some of their outfits is just so funny. Look at Plankton, he looks like a classic rocker. Anyways though, it's mistake time, baby. Let's get into these mistakes.
Big dream body.
So this first one is a nitpick. It's technically a mistake though still, but let's take a look at SpongeBob's house, okay? From any other episode. This is how it looks, okay? Pay attention to the door and the size of the door. Well, in Krabby Road, take a look at SpongeBob's house again, as what in the world is going on with his door? It's like almost half the size of the house. Again, for reminder, look at this shot of his house from literally any other episode. It doesn't look like that. In this episode though, it's just really weird. That door is massive, and it's totally a mistake. It never looks like this, dude. Like, this one is just so strange. That is a big door. Here's another big mistake from this episode, though. This one's spicy.
Give me that, you incompetent fool! Yes, the Krabby Patty formula is mine! We'll have a great time!
I have no idea how I caught this mistake, but listen closely. So when Plankton unlocks the door to the Krusty Krab, take a look at the key. That key is horizontal, as you can see right here, all right? It's horizontal. But as the scene progresses and we see the key again, now it's vertical. At first it was horizontal, now it's vertical, which is an understandable continuity error, but it's still a weird one. Lots of weird mistakes in this episode, huh? Like, they're not the normal types of mistakes we normally cover. These ones are just weird, like the door being huge.
SpongeBob, you gotta try this!
Squidward Tentacles is quite the egomaniac. I don't blame him. He has to deal with a lot of nonsense, which kind of makes him want attention from other people and acknowledgement from other people for being good at things, I guess, even though he's really bad at clarinet, low-key. So just imagine how this guy would act if he had his own show. Well, this is exactly what happens in the episode Tentacle Vision, an episode with a ton of mistakes. So here's the first one. Roll that clip. This one takes place at the ending of the episode, when SpongeBob plays the piano during Squidward's house party. It's very easy to miss, but if you look closely, one of his top right pores turns black for a split second, which obviously is not very healthy, SpongeBob, but is also a mistake, totally a mistake. It's only for a split second and then it goes right back to normal, but it looks so weird with him having this black pore. Here's another one from the same episode. This one is pretty bad.
All of the most intelligent programming starts before 5 a.m.
This one's from the beginning of the episode, but when Squidward first takes the remote, we can see that this remote has a red button on it right here, all right? Remember the red button. However, in the very next scene, literally seconds later, when we see this same remote again, that same button that was red is now just black, and all the buttons are black, making for a hilarious mistake. Next up, we have a season 6 episode, Krusty Crushers, and to be honest, this episode's kind of mixed. The community is like very mixed on it. There's some people that hate this episode, and there's some people that don't think it's too bad. I personally think it's a pretty good episode, and here are some funny clips from it, specifically showcasing the iron butt. It's very funny.
Oh no, not iron butts.
Okay, mistake time. I mean, like, come on, it's what you guys clicked on the video for. Here are the mistakes from this episode.
Look! I'm up!
Helicopter!
Okay, so this one's actually very similar to a mistake we already kind of covered today, but during these scenes where they're in the ring, SpongeBob and Patrick are wearing like their wrestling outfits, all right? Remember this, SpongeBob in particular is who we really need to pay attention to because he's wearing his wrestling uniform. But then seconds later, when we see Patrick and SpongeBob spinning in the air and they're about to get shredded into pieces, ouch, SpongeBob is randomly wearing his regular clothes despite being in his wrestling uniform. And then once this part ends, he's right back into his wrestling uniform. So he's in his wrestling uniform, then they forgot and drew him in his regular outfit for like a couple of seconds, and then he went right back to his wrestling uniform. Sounds familiar, right? Very similar to that last one we covered, and it's bad. This shouldn't be happening. It's a continuity error. And believe it or not, I've got another one from Krusty Crushers. Roll that footage, please.
Oh, come on! Oh, I
got a paper cut!
Patrick, are you okay?
I'll admit, I'm kind of nitpicking on this one, but it's still technically a mistake. But at one point in this episode, as you guys saw, Patrick gets a paper cut. Poor Patrick. Now, when he cuts his finger, let's take a look. Which arm does he cut, all right? Which arm does he cut, guys? This one right here, his right arm. Here's the problem, though. When Patrick goes to, like, suck on the cut or, like, soothe it, he sucks on his left hand. But why would he be doing it to his left hand when we literally seen him cut his right hand? Like, this one's ridiculous. I don't know how the animator made a mistake here. I don't know why he's putting his left hand in his mouth. It's his right. Then again, Patrick isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I'm saying, so I don't know.
Why are we hanging around watching a cheap imitation? Let's get over there!
Next up, we have a very underrated Season 2 episode, The Smoking Peanut, and let's just get right into the mistakes. Here's the first one.
The oyster's a mother, and that pearl's no pearl, it's an egg.
Did you guys catch it? Well, when SpongeBob remarks on how the pearl is actually an egg, there's something up with his belt, guys. Yeah, if we look right here, this part of his belt is just not filled in. It's funny because like the rest of his belt is filled in, but this one part here is not colored correctly, making for a mistake. And we've got more. Here's another spicy one from The Smoking Peanut.
I'd better go see Sandy. She'll know what to do.
I can't stand it anymore. That poor critter.
Okay, so while SpongeBob is running to Sandy's tree dome saying, I'll ask Sandy, she'll know what to do, we can see a bubble transition start. And if we pause at the right frame, look, we can see this blue card from Rough Draft Korea. And you know, I've explained this before, so I'm not gonna go too crazy right here, but to those that are new to the channel, here's some context. Back in the day, SpongeBob was animated by Rough Draft Korea. A lot of people think it was animated in America with Nickelodeon, but the show was actually animated overseas in South Korea. And this is a common mistake that will happen sometimes between the bubble transitions, where this blue card saying Rough Draft Korea can be seen, and this should not be here. This is a mistake, and it's a bad one. Like I said, though, it's pretty common, so I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys have heard about this type of mistake many times. So let's head over to another episode and talk about a very spicy mistake that you haven't seen before. Let's do it.
Opted, he'll have to be locked up, like Butcher.
Don't worry, sir. I'll train him.
Next up, we have a season 13 episode, some modern SpongeBob for you guys, which is very hit or miss. A lot of people like to harp on about like modern SpongeBob, but it's really not that bad. We gotta remember the show is primarily for kids and teenagers, so it cracks me up whenever I see like old people like me complaining about modern SpongeBob. It's like, bro. Anyways, though, the episode is Pat the Dog. This is a really good season 13 episode in my opinion. It's silly but fun. And here's the mistake. We've never covered this one before, and it's really bad.
I brought you a playmate.
Okay, like I said, this one is really bad. So in the clip you guys just seen, we see Gary come in with the plate and he has his snail food in a cup. And what's really important here is if we pause and we look in the background, we can see the doors open a little bit right here, and we can see the wallpaper in the room he was coming from. It's like green with like bluish dots. It's this pattern right here. But then after Gary sees Patrick and begins to tweak out, look at the room that he came from now. Look at the wallpaper. It is entirely different. And this all happened in a matter of seconds. Like, who had the time to repaint the walls? No one did. This is a mistake. Like, here's a side-by-side, and yeah, this one's really bad. Not a single normal person would notice it while watching the episode, to be honest. I'm just a massive nerd. But yeah, mistake. Really good one, and let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. Also, a quick reminder, by the way, I respond to the comments of all subscribers, so if you click subscribe right now and leave a comment, it'll show me in YouTube Studio, and I'll respond for sure within the next 3 days. I'll admit I have been slacking on this lately, so I'll be on top of it. If you comment on this video and subscribe, I'll respond for sure. Anyways, though, let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
It was silly to think I could be in 3 places at once.
So just step into the Proto Generator 2000.
Next up is another episode from season 6, that being Overbooked. This episode is all about SpongeBob being, well, overbooked. The dude just doesn't have time for anything. It seems, though, that the animators also didn't have time, as they overlooked a couple of mistakes in this episode that I'm about to expose. Roll the footage.
Happy birthday!
You finally made it!
Alright, so when Patrick's rock first opens in this scene, take a look at his party hat, okay? It's red. You can see it right here. Remember, it's red. However, in the next scene, this randomly changes. Like, coloring mistakes like this are hilarious when it just randomly changes. As it was red, but his party hat now changes to purple. Like, what? What's going on here? Like, how does it just change colors randomly? That looks like lazy animation to me, and that's not it for this episode. Here's another mistake.
The telescope! Without further delay, I shall initiate proto sequence.
Sandy, I hate to delay the proceedings, but,
This next one is just bad. Like, I don't know how any animator that understands SpongeBob and its characters could make this mistake. As you guys know, take a look at these shots of Sandy cheeks. Our girl Sandy has a big furry tail. It's a big part of her character because she's a squirrel and squirrels have tails, right? Well, in Overbooked, the animators forgot about this, as when Sandy says, without further delay, I shall initiate the proto sequence, her tail is missing. And it's not because of the angle, they just were too lazy to draw Sandy Cheeks' tail. Give my girl her tail back, she needs it. And guys, there's another mistake in this episode. Roll the footage.
Cake!
oh yeah, that! I'm just getting to that. That's why I was here in town. Yeah, forget your birthday cake.
It's really easy to miss, like very easy to miss, but before SpongeBob walks away to get a cake, man, now I want cake, guys. I'm hungry. Cake is so good, but as he walks away to get a cake, take a look at his left leg as it's entirely white for a split second. I mean, don't get me wrong, SpongeBob's socks are supposed to be white, but his leg is supposed to be yellow. So this was another just really bad mistake. This episode's pretty rough in terms of mistakes, guys, but let's keep it moving and head over to another episode with even more spicy mistakes. You don't want to miss them. Next up is the season 11 episode Bottle Burglars, and let's dive right into it. Here's the first mistake from this episode.
Wearing.
I'm a cat burglar. Okay, I'll change.
This one is like really bad. This is a rough mistake and I have no idea how the animators missed it. But when SpongeBob takes off the cat burglar suit, take a look at Squidward's nose. As for some reason, it's behind his mouth for a single frame. Like, what? How did this happen? Look at how weird that looks. Hey, it's only for one frame, but Squidward, I hope you're okay, buddy. Your nose is not supposed to look like that. Anyways, though, here's another mistake. Take a look at this.
Good morning, Krusty Crew. Ready to cook up a new magic Krabby Patties?
Were you guys able to catch it? Well, when SpongeBob and Squidward are walking towards Mr. Krabs in front of the Krusty Krab right here in this scene, take a look at Squidward's hat as there's some miscoloring going on here. Throughout the episode, this is how it normally looks on Squidward's head. As you can see, it's black with like a gray brim, I guess. It's right here, I'm zooming in. But during this one scene at the end of the episode, Squidward's hat, more specifically the rim, is like the same color as his skin, which was definitely some sort of animation or coloring glitch or error here. I mean, look at that. It's not a big deal, but it's still a mistake. And guys, we've got plenty of more mistakes in this video, so stay tuned. Some crazy mistakes are coming up.
Now, where do you keep your meager allotment of playthings?
Oh, over here in the vault.
Vault.
This next one's going to be quick. It's from the season 13 episode, The Big Bad Bubble Bass, which I will say is a pretty good episode. Go give it a watch after you're done watching this video, of course. But yeah, let's get right into it. Here's the mistake.
I said hand over Pigulon.
All right, so context. This right here is a shot of Conch Street, all right? The iconic street that SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward all live in. And if we look at Patrick's house, it always has this path right here. It looks like this, it's right here. If we even go back to season 1 and just look at a screenshot from season 1, we'll see the path is still right there. It's a part of Patrick's rock home. I don't know why the dude wants to live in a rock, but he lives in a rock and it has a path. But in this episode, there are so many shots where that path is just completely missing. It does reappear when Mama Bass, Bubble Bass's mother, drives to Squidward's house, but look at all of these shots where the path is just missing. And here's a side-by-side, the path should be right here because it's always right here in the example shot. So yeah, interesting mistake. And here's another one from the Big Bad Bubble Bass.
Not Pigulum's precious packaging!
Alright, this one's weird, but when Bubble Bass screams as Patrick rips open the Pulgin package, it's Pigulin, it's like the figure. It's one of the figures he collects because Bubble Bass collects figures. But anyways, when Patrick opens it, if you look closely, the ground near Bubble Bass's feet actually overlaps with Patrick's arm, which makes no sense. Like, look at this, it looks so weird.
Just hook a chain to it, pop it in your mouth, and then when your sponge friend wants it back, just yank it out.
Next up, we have the episode, The Donut of Shame. Another underrated episode. This episode is also way shorter than any other episode, with it only being like 7 minutes long. Nonetheless, it ain't a bad episode, but let's get right into the mistakes. It's what we're here for.
Hey, Patrick! Donut! You monster!
Alright, did you guys catch it? There's one mistake, and this one's pretty blatant, like I'm sure you guys caught it. But when Patrick is imagining SpongeBob walking and stepping on the donut hidden under the rug, which was a terrible idea to begin with, SpongeBob's nose for about a split second just turns white. It's so random, it goes back to normal, but for this 1 second, it looks like SpongeBob was hanging out with Larry the Lobster earlier. Like, it looks like Larry the Lobster put all the sunscreen on his face, like back in that episode, I think it's from season 1 or 2, where he puts sunscreen on SpongeBob. But anyways, mistake. Our next episode is Texas. Such a good episode from that golden SpongeBob era. Nothing touches Steven Hillenburg. I don't think the show has gotten as bad as some people like to claim. Like, a lot of people like to just act like modern SpongeBob is terrible. When it isn't, you've just grown up and modern SpongeBob is still for kids. It's not for you. But I can't deny that that Steven Hillenburg run was amazing, and Texas is a good example. So to be honest, I actually feel kind of bad exposing these mistakes, but I gotta do it.
Bob! Look, Patrick, I'm Texas. Howdy, y'all.
I'm Texas, too.
Howdy, y'all.
Get a dog, little Arnie.
Now, this one isn't that big of a deal, and I'm a nerd for even catching it, to be honest. But right before SpongeBob and Patrick start walking around in a circle, if we look closely at SpongeBob, it seems that he has 2 bottom lip outlines. Here's a PNG of SpongeBob. He normally has one of these right here. Like I said, it's supposed to represent his bottom lip. But yeah, if we look at this frame from Texas, yeah, SpongeBob has 2 bottom lip outlines when he's only supposed to have 1. Not a huge deal, but it is a mistake. And come on, guys, you know that's not it. I got more. Let's head over to another episode. And this is where things get serious, okay, guys? This is where things get spicy.
I can explain.
Pre-hibernation week. This episode is a banger. Like, come on, such a good episode. You guys already know it's coming. Like, you guys already know it's good. This episode has mistakes, 3 to be exact. Here's the first one.
You underlayer?
I can explain.
Yeah, so this is pretty funny, and you can see that this is some sort of layering issue. So at one point, Sandy throws an entire building in the air. Like, dude, Sandy is jacked. Like, Sandy is definitely hitting the gym every single day. Anyways, though, so she yeets this entire building into the air, and if we look closely, this building in particular is very clearly, like, cut off. It isn't supposed to be cut off like this. It should be an entire PNG of the building, but you can see the animators or the art team made a little bit of a mistake here, with this thing getting cut off before it goes off screen. Obviously, when it's thrown off screen, it's gonna get cut off, but it happens prematurely here, so a mistake. And pre-hibernation week still has 2 more. Here's the second one.
SpongeBob! What happened to sleeping?
Well, I'll be asleep all winter. We only got 3 days for fun.
This one is definitely gonna make you laugh a little bit. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but the calendar that Sandy pulls down when she and SpongeBob are frozen in the lake is like extremely incorrect. It only has 20 days and only has 5 days a week. Now, you could argue that in like Bikini Bottom world and the universe of SpongeBob, months are only 20 days long, but we've literally seen calendars in this show before, and they usually have like up to around 30 days on them. So this was definitely a mistake. Like, kids, just so you know, a month has 30 days usually. Maybe 31, not 20 days. So this was a weird mistake. And here's another one from pre-hibernation week. This one, though, is really bad.
I go to sleep for the whole winter.
Can I do that?
No, silly. It's a mammalian thing.
Sandy, you may not have noticed,
Okay, so at the beginning of this episode, we'll notice that Sandy is wearing like green bikini bottoms underneath her skirt, okay? I don't really care about what Sandy's wearing underneath her skirt because she's an animal and this is a kids channel, but if you pay close attention, when Sandy goes over to paint her fence, the green bottoms that she had been wearing during this entire scene under her skirt just magically disappear, and she now has nothing underneath her skirt. Don't get any ideas, guys. I'm gonna slide right past this one, but this is definitely a mistake. Her underwear wouldn't randomly disappear. And yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's head over to another episode, dude. Lots of wild mistakes coming up, guys, and I'm not just saying that.
Let me seek out that sponge kid.
Quick, lad! To the invisible boatmobile! Away!
What is better than an episode of SpongeBob based on Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy? Like, come on, they need to do more of these. There was Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1, 2, 3, and then 4, which we're gonna be covering right now, as well as 5 and 6. So Nickelodeon, you guys should do a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy part 7. I know the voice actor of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy have passed away, but there's definitely a way that we can spiritually mention them in the episode. They don't have to literally appear. Anyways though, 3 mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy!
Alright, this one is definitely weird, and you guys might not catch it right away, so let me explain. When SpongeBob bursts through the wall after overhearing Squidward saying Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, in the first shot, this wall looks like this. It's blue, okay? It's like entirely blue. And it shouldn't change, right? Well, after SpongeBob grabs the pen, and we see this wall in a second shot, it is now like a completely different color. Like, here's a side-by-side. It isn't entirely different, but you can see that the shading and coloring has changed a bit, which is like a major mistake because this all happens in a matter of like 10 seconds, literally. So the entire location of the Krusty Krab, like the walls wouldn't change. Like what? This is definitely a mistake. And we've got more. Here's another one for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 4.
Yahoo! I told you we should have got the
So these right here are clips that hold up Mermaid Man's pants, all right? I personally would never depend on clips, I would just wear a belt. But what's really important here are the colors of these clips. At first, they look like this, all right? They're this color, remember this, okay? Remember. As the colors of these things just will randomly change between shots. For example, in this shot, they're now this color. Here's a side-by-side, and yeah, that is not the same color, and dude's clips for his pants shouldn't be changing. You can tell that the animators first colored it like this and then forgot and gave it a different color, which is like, why, man? Like, totally a mistake. And here's one more. This one, though, is really, really bad, guys. Get ready. Roll the footage.
Ta-da! Since I couldn't make you big, I made the city small.
Yeah, you guys probably caught it. It is possible some of you missed it, but when everyone pops out of SpongeBob after they go inside his body and beat him up, our favorite squirrel, her head is just missing. Like, where's her head? It's just gone. Her head is not there. And this is like a really bad mistake. Like, how do you forget to draw somebody's entire head? Poor Sandy, man. Here's the thing though, guys, if you thought this was bad, stay tuned because crazy mistakes are coming up, dude. Like, it's gonna get wild.
I'll be one step closer to my driver's license.
Oh, look, another really good episode of SpongeBob from the golden era. I'm talking about procrastination. This one is a good one, where SpongeBob has to finish his essay, but he just keeps on getting distracted and puts it off. How many times have you guys done that with your homework? Be real. I'm calling you out. I'm also calling out SpongeBob, though, as we're gonna be exposing 2 mistakes from this episode. Here's the first one.
Hop, ho, hop, ho, hop, ho, hop, ho.
This one's pretty rough and it's easy to miss, but when SpongeBob's nose and eyelashes are exercising, like what? Something's missing, guys. Can you tell me what it is? It's missing. Yeah, SpongeBob's entire right arm is just gone. They like forgot to draw it. How do you forget to draw somebody's entire arm? Like what, dude? Don't worry, he does get his arm back after the scene, but yeah, as you can see here, that right arm is missing, and boy, oh boy, is that an error. I've got another one from this episode that's also pretty spicy, but pay close attention, okay, guys?
What not to do at a stoplight? Let's see, where are we?
Okay, so as you guys seen in the clips, throughout this episode, SpongeBob is not able to get much progress made on his essay. And the only things we actually see him write are what not to do at a spotlight by SpongeBob SquarePants. As you can see here, he wrote it right here. And remember, this is written before SpongeBob falls asleep. I know a large part of this episode is SpongeBob fantasizing things because he falls asleep, like his house literally catching on fire. That's all a dream. But when we see SpongeBob write this text right here, what not to do at a spotlight or stoplight by SpongeBob, he is not sleeping yet. He has not fallen asleep. So it should still be there by the ending of the episode, right? Well, it isn't. Eventually, when SpongeBob awakens from his nightmare and looks at the paper before looking at the clock, only the word "the" is shown on his essay. And this is incorrect. We should also see what not to do at a spotlight, because we literally seen SpongeBob write this earlier on in the episode, so a major mistake here. And of course, I've got more. Let's head over to another episode, guys. Things are about to get really spicy, so stay tuned. I'm saving the worst for last.
Well, your obsession with Kenny's getting weird.
But you didn't even get to see my new Kenny the Cat temporary tattoo.
Oh, that's okay. See you, SpongeBob.
Next up, we have the episode Kenny the Cat, which I'm gonna be real with you guys, I'm not a big fan of this episode, so I'm gonna get right into it. Here's a hint, it has to do with Kenny the Cat in particular, more specifically his legs, okay? Try and comment the mistake before I come back in and break it down. I know you guys can do it. Roll that footage.
This gets real uncomfortable after a while.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make this one very quick, but when Kenny gets his oxygen tank, okay, if we look very closely, his entire right foot is just not colored in and is transparent. As I say that, I'm kind of remembering that I might have covered this mistake before, so if I did, I apologize, and don't worry, all the upcoming mistakes are new. But yeah, when he gets the oxygen tank, his right foot is just completely transparent and is missing any color. And I'm sorry, whoever was in charge of animating this episode should get, like, suspended or something. Like, how do you forget to color in a foot? This is also from the modern era of SpongeBob, so there's no excuse. A lot of the episodes we've covered today are from like 2001, the year some of you guys were born. So it's understandable that there's animation mistakes, but Kenny the Cat, no. Anyways though, let's keep it rolling, guys. Lots of episodes coming up that you do not want to miss.
No, wait, he wants to take you on a date.
Let's be real, guys. Is there any relationship that's more iconic than Mr. Krabs and Mrs. Puff? I mean, yeah, there's plenty of other relationships that are way more iconic. I'd even say Karen and Plankton are more of an iconic couple. But anyways, the next episode we'll be talking about is Krusty Love. And this episode is all about Mr. Krabs getting a crush on Mrs. Puff and taking her on a date and all that jazz. It's a good episode, but of course it has mistakes. It has two. And here's the first one. A little hint though, pay close attention to Mr. Krabs. Something's gonna be missing.
What's that smell? Register! 49.
Like I said, pay close attention to our crabby boy over here, as when Mr. Krabs rushes over to the cash register, the animators forgot to draw his legs. Those are kind of important because to move, you need legs. So Mr. Krabs rushing over here isn't possible unless he has legs. Yeah, a weird mistake here. I don't know how they forgot to draw his legs, especially when he was animated to be moving. It's very strange, but it's definitely an error. A really bad one if you think about it. But we've got more. Here's another one from Krusty Love, and try to comment the mistake before I come back in and break it down. It has to do with Mr. Krabs' outfit, okay? Roll that footage.
Oh, I doubt that, my little shrimp boat.
Imported music? Oh, what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Krabs.
Okay, so while Mr. Krabs is on the date with Mrs. Puff, he drips himself out in this very fancy outfit, okay? He's looking very dapper. He's looking like a man that's gonna go out on a date. To any of the boys watching, if you ever get a chance to take a girl out on a date, you dress up nice, you know what I mean? You put the cologne on. Anyways, that's exactly what Mr. Krabs does in this episode. Now, here's the issue. While they're on the date, we can see he's wearing the fancy outfit right here. But for a couple of frames in this shot, look, he randomly, well at the restaurant, changes back to his his regular outfit, which was totally a mistake on the animator's end, as he's in his fancy outfit. He should be in the fancy outfit the entire date. Imagine you wear a suit, take a girl out, and then halfway through the date, you go in the washroom and change to your regular clothes. What especially highlights that this is an error is after this, Mr. Krabs reappears in his fancy outfit. So first he's in the fancy outfit, then he changes to his regular outfit randomly for one shot, and then goes back to his fancy outfit. Like, crazy mistake here, dude. I have no idea how this stuff happens sometimes. Next up is Wormy. I love this episode. It's all about SpongeBob and Patrick finding a worm, becoming friends with him, and then this happens.
I think something bad happened to Wormy.
He left his best friend Ribbon behind.
Yeah, SpongeBob and Patrick, you guys are like, I cannot believe you guys are scared of a butterfly, but to be fair, they've never seen one before. Anyways, though, it's mistake time. Here's the first one.
I didn't know I'd be missed so much. Golly, maybe I should go out of town more often.
Did you guys catch it? It has to do with Fred, but Fred's eyes seem to become transparent while carrying Sandy and SpongeBob. This happens at the very ending of the episode, so it's very quick, but yeah, his eyes are just see-through. When I don't think I need to tell you guys that your eyes are not supposed to be see-through. This is a mistake. And here's another one from Wormy.
It ate them, and there it goes! First Wormy.
Okay, so after Mr. Krabs and Squidward run away from Wormy, we can see that there are two pairs of underwear laying on the floor. This is supposed to imply that Mr. Krabs and Squidward got so scared that they dropped their underwear. But here's the problem here. Mr. Krabs, yeah, it's possible that he wears underwear, right? But Squidward, let's take a look at a PNG of him. This dude doesn't wear pants at all. So this was definitely a gag. It's not that big of a deal, but I don't know where this underwear came from. It's not Squidward's. He doesn't wear underwear. So kind of a funny gag here, but it is technically incorrect. First up, we have the two faces of Squidward. And for those who do not know, this is the debut of handsome Squidward. Like, look at this handsome squiddy boy. Yeah, this episode is how Squidward gets handsome. It's a really good episode, but it has really bad mistakes. Here's the first one.
We don't have much time. Take the door and change me back.
And I'll even throw in a free soft drink for an extra $3.
Come on.
All right, this one's interesting. It happens really quickly, but during the clips you guys just saw at the Krusty Krab, there's this red fish right here in the background. And again, it's very easy to miss, but if you watch closely for a couple of frames, he has pupils, but he's missing his like full eyeballs. Like, look at how weird this looks. How do you draw a character's pupils, but forget to draw the actual eyeballs that the pupils would be inside of? Crazy, dude. And here's another one from this episode.
I love you no matter how many times we smash your face.
I almost wish that meant something.
All right, so listen closely because this one's kind of complicated, but near the ending of the episode at the Krusty Krab, when Squidward's face goes back to normal, he's no longer chiseled and handsome. He loses all of his Rizzler abilities, but yeah, his face is back to normal. Now, when this scene takes place, if we look inside the Krusty Krab in the background, we'll notice that there's very few characters in the restaurant. There's this guy here, there is not a lot of fish in there. However, though, when the camera cuts to the outside shot, there is now randomly a huge amount of characters. Like, this all happens in like a matter of seconds, so it's like, I don't know what's going on here. This was definitely an error. If there are this many characters in this shot, then there should also be this many characters in this shot that takes place like 2 to 3 seconds before it, so yeah. This is nothing though, guys. Some of the mistakes coming up are like really bad. People almost lost their jobs over some of these mistakes, so stay tuned, and let's head to another episode. Let's keep it rolling.
Quick, jump inside our anti-sea bear circle before he comes back.
Yeah, sea bears often attack more than once.
Are you crazy?
This next episode is very, very special. It's the camping episode. This episode was like huge when I was a kid. And if you don't know it, I'm gonna play a couple seconds from the campfire song, and I'm sure you'll remember the episode instantly. I'm gonna play like 4 seconds though, so we don't get hit with copyright claims.
C-A-M-B-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G song. C-A-M-B-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G song.
I mean, come on, dude. What an iconic song and what an iconic episode. But of course, you guys know it's coming. It has mistakes. It has 2, and here's the first one. Try to comment the mistake before I come back in and break it down, okay? Let's do this.
It's nice to unwind with a nice, relaxing campfire song. I call this one the campfire song.
All right, so first things first, you guys may have caught this one, especially because I might have covered this mistake in the past, but don't worry, all of the other mistakes in today's video are new. You've never heard them before. But when SpongeBob starts to sing the campfire song, SpongeBob's right arm is somewhat like disconnected from his body for a frame. Like I'm zooming in and circling and like, yeah, his arm is like falling off. I'd like go and see a doctor about that one, SpongeBob. That's concerning. Or I would just have a conversation with the animators who did you dirty like this, bro. They couldn't even connect your arm to your body. Wild, man. And here's another one from the camping episode. This one is just like weird.
Weekend is here. And this isn't just any old weekend. This is the weekend SpongeBob and Patrick go camping.
All right, so listen up. When this calendar right here is shown for the first time, the circle is on the 23rd, okay? You can see it right here. This circle right here is on the date of the 23rd, and it should stay there, right? Well, in the close-up shot that happens seconds later, the circle is now completely changed to dates, and it's on the 25th. Here's a quick side-by-side, and just what? I guess they got confused in between the shots when animating the episode, but there's still no excuse, dude. Like, how does this mistake happen? It's fine though, the mistakes keep us entertained, right? So let's head over to another episode.
I love you too, Gummy.
All right, next up we have the episode The Gift of Gum, and the plot of this one's very funny. Like, imagine you and your best friend, right? You guys have been best friends for years, and as a gift, he gets you a giant wad of used bubble gum. I guess it's the thought that counts, Patrick, but yeah. All right, mistake time. Here's the first one, and you guys know was good. Try to comment this mistake before I come back in, all right? I know you guys can find this mistake without my help. Let's do this. Roll that footage, please.
The more you touch it, the angrier it gets.
Oh, let's just crazy talk.
This is another one that if you blink, you'll definitely miss it. So first we need to look at Sandy's design. So here's a PNG of our favorite squirrely girl, our favorite Texan. And you'll notice that on her cool, like underwater spacesuit, her sleeves have stripes on them. They're like blue and red, okay? Now here's the issue. So when Sandy says, oh, that's just crazy towel, we can see these stripes on her arm, okay? And there's this one right here that's red, but it actually randomly turns blue for a couple of frames. And then randomly switches back to red. So it's red, then randomly changes to blue, and then changes back to red all in like one shot, which is definitely some sort of glitch in terms of the animation. Like this is definitely a mistake. It's not too bad. Roll the footage.
Told you it was easy.
Okay, so this one is kind of like a common mistake in SpongeBob, and it has to do with SpongeBob's iconic pineapple home. Now, if we look at this beautiful place, this delicious pineapple home, you'll notice that there's windows, okay? And the windows are always usually in the same spot. There's also a chimney, all right? It looks like this. Remember, the chimney's right here on this side of the pineapple. Then there's this window here and this window here. Now, let's do a side-by-side with this shot from The Gift of Gum at the ending of the episode. And you'll notice that both the windows and the chimneys are actually facing the wrong way, weirdly. Normally the chimney's over here on this side, so why is it over here on this side in this episode? This was definitely an error where they flipped SpongeBob's house by mistake. Remember guys, for this to happen, SpongeBob would have to like completely redesign his home, so yeah, 100% a mistake. Let's keep it rolling though guys, lots of weird mistakes coming up, and I'm saving the best for the end. Let's head over to another SpongeBob banger.
Squidward, you look a little different. Wow. Have you been working out?
Actually, Patrick, this is...
Hold it, SpongeBob!
The episode isn't bad, it isn't necessarily good, it's very mixed, to be honest. Some SpongeBob fans like it, some SpongeBob fans hate it. I personally like it, but I mean, who cares? We're here for one thing, and that's exposing mistakes. Like, let's get some animators fired, guys. I'm kidding, I'm joking. But yes, let's expose some mistakes. Here's the first one from Squidward.
Oh, sorry, sir. Can I take your order?
No, I don't like your attitude, bub.
Okay, so let's talk about the Krusty Krab for a second. More the interior of the Krusty Krab, the inside of the restaurant, and its design. As when we look in the restaurant, okay, we can see that in the middle, there's the like cash register area with the boat where Squidward works from. Then to the right of that, there's the door to the fry cook area, like the kitchen where SpongeBob is flipping up those patties. But there's also this door right here to the left that usually leads to Mr. Krabs' office. Now, here's the issue. In Squidward, when this character right here, Sandals, is ordering, there are a couple of shots where the door to Mr. Krabs' office is just completely not drawn. They just forgot to draw it. It should be right here, but it isn't. And not only that, guys, but also, you know the window that like SpongeBob pops out of to hand orders to Squidward, like this window right here? Yeah, in some of those same shots, the window to the kitchen is also missing. Very, very messy, and just, yeah, the animators clearly just forgot to draw both. But I'll forgive them, okay? Their job is pretty hard. 2D animation's a lot of work, but with that said, let's also expose this next mistake from Squidward. Roll that footage! Yeah, I may have covered this one before, I'm not 100% sure, but no matter what, let's talk about it because it's pretty rough. As when this close-up of Mini Squidward playing the clarinet is shown, look, one side of SpongeBob's shirt is just randomly yellow instead of white. This is definitely some sort of layering issue. SpongeBob himself, like his model, is yellow, and I imagine the clothes are put on top of SpongeBob, so I guess like the color from his skin seeped through, I don't know. I'm not an animator, but it's a mistake.
Wish I was back in Texas. The ocean's no place for a squirrel.
Our next episode is Texas, such a good episode from that golden SpongeBob era. Nothing touches Steven Hillenburg. I don't think the show has gotten as bad as some people like to claim. Like, a lot of people like to just act like modern SpongeBob is terrible. When it isn't, you've just grown up and modern SpongeBob is still for kids, it's not for you. But I can't deny that Steven Hillenburg run was amazing, and Texas is a good example. So to be honest, I actually feel kind of bad exposing these mistakes, but I gotta do it.
Look, Patrick, I'm Texas. Howdy, y'all.
I'm Texas, too.
Howdy, y'all.
Get a dog, little Arnie.
Now, this one isn't that big of a deal, and I'm a nerd for even catching it, to be honest, but right before SpongeBob and Patrick start walking around in a circle, if we look closely at SpongeBob, it seems that he has two bottom lip outlines. Here's a PNG of SpongeBob. He normally has one of these right here. Like I said, it's supposed to represent his bottom lip. But yeah, if we look at this frame from Texas, yeah, SpongeBob has two bottom lip outlines when he's only supposed to have one. Not a huge deal, but it is a mistake. And come on, guys, you know that's not it. I got more. Let's head over to another episode. And this is where things get serious, okay, guys? This is where things get spicy. There are a lot of season 6 episodes. Like, season 6, in my opinion, is where the series got like weird, but not in a good way, like a bad weird. And a good example of this is the episode Giant Squidward, where Squidward gets sprayed with this like growth stuff, resulting in him becoming like giant. He becomes like a big boy. And this causes like a lot of problems for the dude. Like, I'm gonna get into the mistakes from this episode, but here's a little compilation of how being giant just ruins Squidward's life.
Squidward, I guess this is your new life. And this is your new bed. Good night, old life.
Yeah, I can imagine being a giant squid would be kind of like annoying. Definitely one of the worst things that has ever happened to Squidward. But anyways, it's mistake time. Here's a very spicy mistake from this episode that's insanely easy to miss. Monster! Like I said, it's really hard to miss, but when the villagers with torches and weapons in a mob are chasing after Squidward, poor Squidward, like I said, man, this is like one of the worst things that has ever happened to him. He's like a monster. But yeah, when he's being chased by a mob, if we look closely, one of these fishes, all right, one of their white eyes briefly turns red and blue for a split second. It's very easy to miss, but look at it right here. Definitely some sort of animation glitch. That is not good. Like if your eyes look like that, guys, go and see a doctor. Like man has like pink eye or something. He's got red eye.
Listen, Patrick, there comes a time in every man's life when he's got to settle down. You know, get a wife, kids, a father-in-law you give all your money to.
SpongeBob Season 4 has a lot of weird episodes. There's good episodes, there's bad episodes, and then there's episodes like Rule of Dumb, which I'm kinda split on. What I'm not so split on, though, are the 3 mistakes in this one episode of SpongeBob. Here's the first mistake. Okay, so as you guys know, backgrounds are a big part of SpongeBob. Normally, when undersea, we get these types of backgrounds where we can see these like flower designs in the background. Now, I've said the word like 4 times already, but remember, they're supposed to be in the background. But in Rule of Dumb, when the kids are licking lollipops in the clips you guys just seen, the flowers in the sky background are like overlapping with part of the sand, which should not be happening. Like, look at how bad this looks. These flowers are supposed to be in the distant, in the background. They should not be overlaying with layers like the ground. So yeah, really funny mistake. And here's mistake number 2.
Act anything you want and it's all free.
All free! Nobody eats at any restaurant for free, king or no king.
So as all of you guys already probably know, the Krusty Krab has a sign, all right? It's this sign right here, and it's literally in every scene where we see the Krusty Krab normally. But in Rule of Dumb, the Krusty Krab sign is not seen in the episode at all, even in shots where it really should be there. Like in this shot right here, we should be able to see the sign right here. If we look at another shot from another episode, the sign's right here, so just, yeah, another mistake. Like I said though, 3 mistakes in one episode. We've got another one from Rule of Dumb, and this one's really bad.
Well, here's what I think of your trading.
My royal subjects have deserted me.
Okay, so this one definitely needs a little bit of context. So as you guys know, SpongeBob is made by Nickelodeon, right? But that doesn't mean that the actual animation, the 2D animation, is done by Nickelodeon. It was actually done back in the day by a company called Rough Draft Korea. So the episodes were written and produced in like America, but the actual animation was done in Korea. Now, during the scene you guys just saw during that bubble transition, if we slow things down and pause, we can actually see a blue screen in the background with the date May 26th, 2006 from Rough Draft Korea. And this is a major mistake. We shouldn't be able to see this. This is from the process of animating the episode. When the bubble transition happens, it's going from one scene to another scene, and this blue sheet is in the background pretty much of the scenes transitioning, and they slipped up. We shouldn't be able to see it. I'm over explaining it, so let's head over to another episode with a wild mistake. And really though, guys, stay tuned because I'm saving some of the craziest mistakes for last. Let's do this. Let's head over to another episode.
Patrick's my friend. Sometimes if he's eating worm food by mistake, he goes into worm mode.
Up next is a sneaky mistake in the episode Pat the Dog. Roll the footage.
Roll over. Patrick, wait!
So I already know that this one needs some explaining because it's just a very subtle and complicated error. But when SpongeBob says Patrick wait, if you look closely, his right thumb and arm are only partially outlined, and they kind of look a little neon green. Forget about the neon green part though. What really matters here is, as you can see on one side of his arm, there's the outline. Had to clear my throat. Sorry guys, I'm dying. But yeah, if you look very closely, you can see half of his arm is outlined, and then the other half where his thumb and the inside of his arm are, they just weren't outlined. It's a very simple mistake. The animators, I don't know what they were doing, but this is a mistake, guys, and we've got more. Let's keep the video going. Sandy Cheeks has come up with a lot of revolutionary ideas for the Krusty Krab. For example, squirrel jellies, one, or even the episode where she comes up with a growth hormone that makes Krabby Patties bigger. But season 13's Hot Crust Nuts is definitely her biggest endeavor yet, with her making these nuts that do this. Here, take a look for yourself.
I have a reply.
Now this episode has 2 mistakes in total. Here's the first one. It's very easy to miss, and it has to do with the chum bucket.
Don't you love the new look? The restaurant!
So take a look at these clips before. You've seen them before because this is a common mistake in SpongeBob, but the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket are supposed to be directly across from one another. It's been seen like this in so many episodes, guys. It's a fact. But in some of these scenes from Hot Cross Nuts, the Chum Bucket just isn't there. Even the path to the Chum Bucket is missing at times. It's just like the Chum Bucket just does not exist in this episode, which is totally a mistake. But guys, this next mistake is way worse. This one is really, really bad.
No! Stop it! The restaurant! No!
So when all of the incidentals start freaking out and eating the Krusty Krab, I want you to watch this in slow motion from the outside because the animators were really lazy with all of these incidentals. For one, they have no pupils. They have like literal just blank white eyes. Same thing with their mouth, and multiple of them are duplicated. Like, look at how many times the one with a blue shirt and a cowboy hat is shown. The main thing here is just they were very lazily drawn for this one section, and I get it, it's a quick section where they just eat the Krusty Krab, but yeah, there should have been some more effort put into these incidentals. This isn't season 1, it's season 13.
It's my ex-boyfriend, Octavius Rex, aka Long, Dan, and Handsome.
Meep.
Up next, we have more old school SpongeBob goodness. We're talking about old school episodes today, a lot of them. There's still some modern episodes, but I'm trying to do a lot of old school SpongeBob. The episode is The Chaperone, and this one's all about SpongeBob being forced by Mr. Krabs to take his whiny daughter Pearl to prom. Just, it's funny, Pearl doesn't really want to go with SpongeBob. She has a crush on this dude right here, this anchovy, this pizza topping over here. This is a really good episode, but I hate to do it. We gotta break down the mistakes. Here's the first one. So this first one's kinda light, but the Krabby Patties that we see at the beginning of the episode initially contain meat patties. As you can see here, they look delicious, but all of these Krabby Patties have meat on them, and we can see the meat patty. But as the scene progresses and the table is suddenly cleared of customers refusing to go to prom with Pearl, now the sandwiches only have lettuce on them. So I'm doing a side-by-side, and I don't think all these customers ran away and took a meat patty. So this was definitely a little bit of a mistake here. At first, the Krabby Patties had meat on them, and then they forgot to draw the meat. I don't know. Really weird mistake, and here's mistake number 2 from this episode.
Hello?
Okay, I will admit I've covered this mistake before, so longtime viewers, I'm sorry, but it's this bad of a mistake that I need to mention it again for all of the new people. But in the scene where SpongeBob is coming to Mr. Krabs and Pearl's house, we can hear sounds of him struggling to walk, all right? We can hear it like he's walking towards the door and he's struggling to do so. That's what the sounds are supposed to suggest. But if you look closely, we can actually see his legs through the window, and they don't move the entire time. So we hear this sound as if they're moving, but we can see the legs right here and they don't move. I'm gonna play the clip again really quickly.
Hello?
Yeah, really funny. His legs do not move once, even though it sounds like they do. Okay, one more mistake from this episode. One more.
They love us! Hey! We're popular!
This one happens later on in the episode, but during the Doing the Sponge song, this friend of Pearl's right here is seen sitting on the floor with her arm in a cast. All right, remember this, her arm's in a cast. She's right here. But the problem is once the song ends, she literally picks up Pearl and SpongeBob and throws them out with both of her arms, which one would not really be possible because her one arm is clearly broken or something, but 2, the cast on her arm is missing. Like, she literally had this cast on moments before, as you can see here. I'm showing the shot again, but then she just magically gets healed, which, you know, is some cartoon logic. All right, guys, I'm realistic here. This is a kid's cartoon, and this is typical cartoon logic, but it's still kind of a weird choice and still technically a mistake. And we've got plenty more mistakes coming up in more episodes. Let's keep it rolling, rolling, rolling.
Shredded.
Next up is the episode Le Big Switch. And I'm gonna make this one quick as there's only one mistake in here that's actually really bad. You need to pay close attention though, okay? So roll the footage.
Those aren't burglars, Pearl. Those are just friendly repo men.
Mr. Krabs, tell these guys to let go of me!
Did you guys catch that? So, when Squidward is being carried out of the Krusty Krab, we can see this fish right here on the right, all right? And what we really want to pay attention to is his eyes. Now, at first, they're closed, as you can see. But the mistake here is that when he blinks, they open in the opposite of what normal eyes do. Normal eyes open up and down, but like, look at this dude's eyes. I'm zooming in a little bit. I'm gonna focus in on him, and we're gonna slow the footage down, and just, yeah, there is definitely some weird mistake here with how he blinks, because that's not right, man.
Get off him, Patrick!
What are you worried about? He looks better already.
But he still feels cold.
Next up, we have a bit of a spooky episode, Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, which I guess isn't really that spooky. Him becoming a ghost is very funny though, and it makes for a really good episode. Like, imagine hating somebody so much that you pretend that you like died so you don't have to deal with them anymore. Anyways though, here's the first mistake from this episode. It's a doozy. Don't ever let me say that word again. Don't ever let me say doozy again. And yeah, let's roll the clip.
SpongeBob, cut that out!
Oh, look, the mourners have arrived.
Oh, Squidward. We all came as soon as we were sure you were dead.
This is another one where we have to take a look at Sandy's design real quick, and we'll notice that the Sandy lady herself always has this zipper. It's a part of her suit, right? It like zips up and down to get in her suit. Well, in the scene where Sandy's amongst the mourners, if you look, Sandy's zipper is just missing. They just didn't draw it. I can kind of get why due to the scene, but it's still super lazy that they didn't just draw her zipper. It's like a part of her design. I'll definitely forgive it though, because this next mistake from Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost is like way worse. So yeah, let's roll that clip right now.
Napping on the job? You're supposed to be making music for me as punishment for this insolence.
So, in the scene where Squidward is scolding SpongeBob for napping on the job, which, to be fair, SpongeBob, you should not be napping at work, Squidward's normally turquoise neck randomly turns white for a couple of frames. This one is a lot more subtle, but I mean, come on, that's not how his neck is supposed to be. And you can actually still see a little bit of turquoise in there. It's most likely because he's wearing this like white robe, but yeah, he's not that light. You can even see the color difference between his face and his neck, so a bit of a mistake here. I'll give him a pass. This one ain't that bad, but here's mistake number 3. This one's pretty rough. This one's hilarious. All right, so a big part of this episode is SpongeBob and Patrick kind of acting like servants for Squidward's ghost. And a big part of this is them carrying him around on this like throne, all right? This throne right here. Now, I want us to take a look at this throne. You'll notice that it has kind of like a headboard or a backboard to it, a part of the frame right here. I'm putting an arrow on it. Remember this part of the royal bed or throne or whatever this is. I guess it's more of a royal bed. It looks really comfy, but remember, as when the scene fades into nighttime after SpongeBob fails to play music on the tissue, that backboard of Squidward's royal bed has just magically disappeared. It's just gone, and it looks kind of weird now. How this mistake happened, I don't know. Like, at first they drew the bed with a backboard, and then they decided to like not have it there anymore. Regardless though, it's a mistake, and it's a very funny mistake. Like, you know this is funny. Not as funny as some of the other mistakes coming up though, guys, so stay tuned. I'm saving the craziest mistakes for last. I'm gonna make this next one quick as there's only one mistake in this episode, which is a good thing, I guess. The episode is Squid Bob Tentacle Pants, and in this episode, SpongeBob and Squidward are like morphed together. I'm gonna play the mistake, but look at this clip of them being morphed together real quick. It's really funny.
Hi, Sandy.
Yeah, I'm sure SpongeBob is the last person that Squidward would ever want to be morphed with. But anyways, let's get to the one mistake in this episode, as it's spicy. Did you guys catch it? Well, in the part where incidental 41 is this character right here, by the way. When we see him hold his barf, disgusting, this incidental character over here, Sandals, his eyes are just not attached to his body. Like, what is going on here? They look like they're about to fall off of him. This is totally a mistake. I don't know why they drew it like this. It is a crowd shot, to be fair, but yikes. This is nothing compared to what's coming up though, guys. Let's head over to another episode with some unbelievable mistakes. Let's keep it moving.
Pick a card, any card.
Our next episode is from Modern SpongeBob, season 12 to be exact, and it's One Trick Sponge. This episode's all right. It's pretty much about SpongeBob learning a new magic trick. Not the best episode in my opinion, so let's move right into the good stuff. Well, the not so good stuff, that being the mistakes. This episode has one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Ah! Hi, Fred.
Now listen, this one is pretty complicated, so I need you guys to pay close attention, all right? So, when SpongeBob goes to Fred's house right here, Fred is the dude who's always like, my leg!
My leg? My leg! My leg! My leg! My leg! My...
Yeah, that guy. When SpongeBob goes to his house, the direction he moves would mean that Fred's house is opposite from Mr. Krabs and Pearl's house, as you can see right here. Remember this, based on this shot, it would mean that Fred's house is like opposite to Mr. Krabs. You gotta remember this. However, in a later shot, Mr. Krabs' house is nowhere to be seen and is replaced with a kelp forest. So I don't know what happened here. The animators at first drew it as if Fred's house is right across from Mr. Krabs, but then they forgot and were lazy and then just drew a kelp forest instead. Not that big of a deal because it's a cartoon, but this is still a weird mistake. Some continuity errors, but let's keep it moving and head over to our next episode. This one is crazy, guys. Stay tuned.
Fiji concert. Remember this, Squidward?
Next up is the episode Friendiversary, which has a ton of mistakes in it. Let's see if you guys can catch them.
All here in my Squidward memory book.
What?
Here's us at camp. Here's when I moved in right next door.
So this first one is a good old-fashioned animation error where you can see it's a blatant mistake with the animation. I don't know what exactly happened here, but when SpongeBob shows his memory book to Squidward, Squidward's neck is to weaken because it's completely disconnected from his body. To be fair, it's only for a few seconds, but I mean, just like, I'm zooming in on this. Look at that, man. How did that even happen? Yeah, poor Squidward, man. His neck is just, is not how it's supposed to be, but let's keep it moving. There's more mistakes in this episode. Here's mistake number 2. So this one is really bad, and honestly, it's one of the worst mistakes I've seen in season 13. So as you can see here, this is how the interior of Squidward's house looks, okay? He has like green wallpaper on his walls and his floor is pink. We've seen it in so many episodes. Just take a look at this shot from Slimy Dancing. Well, I don't know what the animators were up to in this episode because take a look at this shot from Friendiversary as when SpongeBob's going into his house's interior is Squidward's house. It's funny because Squidward's door is open in this shot too, and you can literally see his interior, and it's like they just copied and pasted it to SpongeBob's. This is how SpongeBob's interior is supposed to look. You can even just see it from the Wikipedia page. But in this episode, they were feeling extremely lazy and just gave SpongeBob the wrong inside to his house. Like, I'm honestly flabbergasted about this one. I don't even use that word often, guys, flabbergasted, but your boy is flabbergasted. And believe it or not, that ain't even it. This episode has more mistakes. Here's the third one. Damn, 3 mistakes in one episode? You'd think the animators would know about the mistakes, but anyways, this one isn't as bad. But normally, as you can see in this shot, Patrick's house has a path, okay? A nice little path. But in Friendiversary, the path to Patrick's house appears and disappears multiple times throughout the episode. It's really weird. In this shot, it's here, and this shot, it's not there. So I don't know what was going on with this one, but the animators made a lot of mistakes, guys. Like, damn. But let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
The suds?
Here's that patty you wanted, Mr. Krabs, sir.
Next up, we have the episode Suds, which is all about SpongeBob getting a little too sick. Like, he gets really sick and still goes into work. I can relate with him. I've done that many times before. Overall, a really, really good episode that, of course, has a couple of mistakes. That's what we're going to be talking about. Here's the first mistake from Suds. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward to the ending of the episode for this mistake, but before SpongeBob's sneeze destroys the Krusty Krab, as you guys just saw, the 5 Maritime flags normally on the front of the Krusty Krab are just missing randomly. Like, normally if we look at the Krusty Krab, there's these flags across it, right? They're always there, but in this one shot before SpongeBob destroys the Krusty Krab, they just did not draw the flags. I'm showing a side-by-side, really weird decision here. Fortunately though, after he sneezes, the flags mysteriously reappear among the wreckage of the destroyed restaurant, but I have no idea where they were before in this one shot. Really weird choice and definitely a mistake. And we've got more. Here's another one from Suds. This is another really weird one. So let's take a look at SpongeBob's house. All right, if we look at his house, you'll notice there's this path, and on the path, there's always these like green steps leading to the front entrance of his house. We can see this in the first ever episode here. And if we go to any other episode, here's a random shot from a modern episode of SpongeBob. The green steps are still there. However, though, in Suds, during a shot of SpongeBob's house at night in the clips you guys just saw before it becomes frozen in the next morning, those green steps on the path to the front entrance are just missing. They're just not there, which is a really weird mistake. Fortunately, when SpongeBob's house is frozen in the next morning, the green steps are back. But like, dude, what's going on here? How do you guys just not draw them? Really weird choice and just, yeah, a really strange mistake. We've got one more from this episode. It's kind of funny as it's very similar to the mistake we just covered. I'm gonna make this one quick, but normally, if we look at Squidward's house, all right, there's this wooden plank doorstep right here. I'm circling and arrowing it right at the door of his house, normally. But in the opening establishing shot of Suds, the wooden plank doorstep is just missing for some reason. It's kind of funny that that happened and the green steps on SpongeBob's path were also missing. Really weird mistake. The episode is going to be Hello Bikini Bottom, and I personally really love this episode. I'm a musician myself, and it's all about SpongeBob and Squidward like starting a band together that actually goes on to be really successful. So before we get into the mistakes of this episode, look at some of these awesome clips from this episode. It's a really good one, and don't worry, we'll cover the mistakes in a sec.
That doesn't look like Ned and the Needlefish. Chase him off stage!
See, it's a good episode. SpongeBob and Squidward make for a really good duo. The animators for this episode, though, I don't know, man, because there's some mistakes. Here's the first one. This one's a little inappropriate. I don't know how Nickelodeon let it slide in a kid show, but this is Incidental 46 right here. It is a female character. And as you guys seen in the clips, when Incidental 46 plays a loaf of bread like an accordion, they forgot to draw her bikini top. So she just does not have a top on at all. Real classy Nickelodeon. Definitely a mistake, but you could have picked any other incidental to have this mistake for, so yeah.